Today on Dr. Phil, a gossip site spreading dirt and lies.
It's new wave social media.
Intended to embarrass or humiliate or hurt someone.
It targets ordinary people.
Somebody I didn't know stole my picture and posted I looked like a transvestite, I needed a nose job, I had STDs.
Do you think that this hurt this girl's feelings?
100%.
Do you care about that at all?
No.
Should this be allowed on the internet?
My site's a form of entertainment.
But it damn sure isn't entertaining to the people who are getting to fame.
Dr. Phil confronts the owner.
I think what you do is reprehensible.
I did not know what my husband did.
And the victim.
How are you going to feel when somebody kills themselves because of your website?
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth?
Take
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. How are you? Okay. Take a look at this website. It's called thedirty.com. Now let's look at some of the posts. They are saying that this woman bleeped my best friend's boyfriend, and she has always been the type to just take anything she gets. I found these adorable pictures of her. I just wanted to know, would you? Now the creator of the website, Nick, he wrote a response that says, no, I don't sleep with girls who wear training bras. And here's another post. The site says, one guy is the manager. The fat Justin Bieber is just an overall. His friend, a bartender, we call Little Dicky. Now, Nick's response is, I doubt very many girls would go there, especially with big-cheeked forgies like this. Now, forgie on this website is a code word for gay. Now, on this girl's picture, the comment said she looks like a tranny, an alcoholic, and a druggie. Now, you'd think these were celebrities being trashed in the tabloids. But the truth is, they're just everyday people whose pictures have been posted anonymously with dirt-dishing comments, and then the creator of the site, Nick, adds to it. Now, today, Nick is talking for the first time about his controversial website. So, Nick, come on up. How you doing?
Hello, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Have a seat. Now, so you created this website, right?
Correct, yeah.
And define the website for me in your view.
It's when I created this, when I started the site, I was looking at reality TV and how popular it was and how popular celebrity gossip was. And I thought no one actually did reality internet. How could the tables be turned in a gossip type manner where it's about real people?
Okay, so you understand that these are, as you say, these aren't public figures.
Correct.
And there is a distinction between a public figure and not a public figure in terms of some of the definitions of the law, which we'll get to in a minute. But these are just regular people going about their own business. Somebody takes their picture that doesn't like them or for whatever reason, and then they just write terrible, insulting, humiliating things about them on the website.
It goes both ways, but yeah, there's a marketplace for it, and what I'm doing is it's a business.
Well, there's a marketplace for heroin too, but that doesn't justify being a heroin dealer.
Yeah, but if 15 million people weren't coming to my site, then obviously it's something that's demanded and needed. And I'm
wait a minute. You just said it's demanded and needed.
Correct. Yeah, I believe it is.
You think it's needed? You think this is a necessary element in today's society?
I think it's a form of holding people accountable for their actions, Dr. Phil.
Holding them accountable. You actually think you're holding people accountable?
I think people
who are you
learning,
to hold people accountable?
I'm not anybody, but here's the thing. People are sending me stuff from all over the world. And I didn't ask to be the guy. I just stumbled upon it and the timing was right.
You do ask to be the guy. You have a website called thedirty.com.
Which posts people's dirt, correct.
Because you're wanting dirt on people. And it's not, you're not posting people's dirt. Many times you realize that you're posting lies about people. Now, come on. I mean,
I moderate everything. It's not like it just comes up and I go through it, and the stuff I don't believe I delete. But People can say whatever they want. I'm not in these people's lives. I'm
Okay,
not friends with these people.
Let me be sure I understand what you just said. You go through and you delete
the stuff that's too far-fetched.
What you don't believe.
Yes.
Okay, so you do edit the site.
Yes, everything's moderated.
Okay, so you do take ownership of this site because you're editing it and therefore responsible for what clears and what doesn't.
I'm not the one submitting the stuff, but
I didn't say you were, and I understand
that
you're hiding behind a legal loophole that I think is fast closing on that, but you also just said that you edit this site, so therefore you take responsibility and have control over it.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. I would expect that's probably going to be of some interest. But nonetheless, you understand that people write outrageous things about people. They call them gay. They accuse them of doing all kinds of sexual misconduct.
I'm not the one sending it. It's their friend. It's their coworker.
I think what you're doing is very destructive to people.
I think it's new wave social media, and I think it's definitely revolutionary.
You posted about one girl here. You allowed someone to post. She gave her stepfather a in exchange for her boob job. So you take off the things that you think aren't realistic, and you think that's...
Well, I don't take off the submissions that come in that are just too out of the ordinary. They don't even go up. Only about 10% of the stuff. Only about 10% of the stuff that gets submitted makes the website.
But you thought that one was reasonable, so you posted that one?
According to what I saw the image, I thought it looked realistic. Yeah.
You thought that looked realistic. You said she had herpes.
I didn't say that.
Well, it's on your site.
Yeah.
She's got herpes. We're going to talk to her in a little bit, but you thought those were, that you had a reasonable basis for considering those to be...
My site's a form of entertainment, just like the show's a form of entertainment. You know what I mean? It's a business. Stuff comes in, it's going to get a reaction, and, you know, it is what it is, Dr. Phil.
No,
There's a demand for it. You look at the great shows, even your show. Look at when you met Oprah, when you did Court Services, and Oprah made a statement about, I'm never eating meat again. And look what happened now. It's the same exact thing. Timing, there's a place for everything, and that's where I'm coming from. This is a business, and it's a form of entertainment.
How is accusing an innocent girl that you don't know of performing oral sex on her stepfather for a boob job the same as Oprah saying, I'm never eating beef again?
I'm just saying, it's a libel. It's a libel. It's a comment. The greatest thing about America is freedom of speech. Correct? Can you agree with me on that, at least? No? You don't believe in freedom of speech?
Finish your question.
I'm saying, it's freedom of speech. Someone said it, and it went up, and something great came out of it, and the site is growing, and more people are sending in this stuff. I'm saying,
I think one thing you should do is at least be honest about what you're doing. You're trying to say, this is needed. I'm feeling a need in society.
I definitely am. There's
come on, at least own it. You're selling
million
dirt.
People.
You're selling dirt and lies, and you're making a profit off of it. You know, and listen, there's a definition of cyberbullying, and I want us to take a look at that. The definition of cyberbullying: when the internet, cell phones, or other devices are used to send or post a text or images intended to hurt or embarrass another person. Now, that's from the National Crime Prevention Council, and cyberbullying generally involves underage people. If they're over 18, then it's not considered cyberbullying. It's called cyber harassment or cyber stalking, and is a very serious crime. So my question to you is, do you think that these posts that are put up are intended to embarrass or humiliate or hurt someone?
I think people like seeing their neighbor get to their highest point and fall. So yes, in a certain way it is.
In a certain way? Come on. You're not being genuine about this. You got to own what they're doing. You're not writing them, so I'm not asking you to defend what they say. They're being posted on your site. This is to hurt someone.
It's to get a rise out of someone. I'm not going to say hurt, because I don't think that's what it is.
Well,
it's not the direction I look at it.
Ryan Halligan was 13 years old, and on October 7th of '03, he killed himself after people posting bad things on the internet about him. Jeffrey Johnson, 15, killed himself. Rachel Niblett, Megan Meyer, Hope Witzel, Jesse Logan, Phoebe Prince, Alexis Pilkington, Tyler Clemente. These guys, all after embarrassing, humiliating things were posted about them, committed suicide, took their own lives. In my opinion, it's not a matter of if, but when that's going to happen based on what's being posted on dirty.com.
So you're saying these people did this through cyberbullying off mainstream sites? Because if you actually do the research, this is Facebook, these are MySpace, these are social.
What's the point?
These are sites that are mainstream and nationally recognized. And
how are you going to feel when somebody that's been...
But you're saying that someone's going to kill themselves from going to the dirty.com or being on the dirty.com eventually.
It's a real danger, don't you?
No.
Don't you got to worry about that.
Don't.
You have no worry about
Nope.
that. You don't think that's foreseeable based on what you see in these situations?
No, because here's the thing, Dr. Phil. If someone's on my site, it's not like I'm the Antichrist leaving it up there. There's a 48, 72-hour removal policy. I take stuff down all the time. You know, my legal team, we go through submissions. If we see something that's even borderline, if someone says they're going to commit suicide, I take it down. I'm not doing this it's not a personal vendetta against anyone. I don't
think it's a personal vendetta. I think it's profit for you. I think you're doing it for profit. I don't think you care what the impact is. But I will say this, and I want to be honest about this. You do take things down. You are, in my view, and based on our research, much more responsive than a lot of other these 100%. Websites. And you do things to try and control certain aspects of this. And I do give, seriously, I do give you that. All right, we got to take a break. Next, why one woman says that dirty.com needs to be shut down. Plus, we're going to meet Nick's wife, Shane. You'll be surprised to hear how she feels about the website. We'll be right back.
I absolutely hate dirty.com. I saw all these things. I looked like a transvestite. I needed a nose job. I had STDs. I don't know why someone would want to hurt me so bad the way they did. It's cyberbullying.
We're talking today about a controversial website where people can anonymously post pictures of anyone and dish dirt on them. Now, we're talking about everyday people. This isn't the only website this happens on, but it's one of them. And Nick, I give him credit for being here willing to talk about it. I don't think he's being honest about what he really thinks is going on sometimes, but he is willing to be here and talk about it, and I commend him for that. Let's take a look at what happened to one of the people that was targeted on this website.
So somebody I didn't know stole my pictures from my MySpace and posted on the dirty. So I went on it and I saw all these things. I looked like a transvestite, I needed a nose job, I had STDs, slept around, and I gave my stepfather horrible things that just tore me apart, and it's cyberbullying. It got to the point where I didn't want to go out, or I couldn't have my pictures taken. I have a really hard time trusting people now. I absolutely hate that website, and it just really tears you down. This Nick Ritchie guy, it's gonna be interesting to meet him. I don't know why someone would want to hurt me so bad the way they did. And I get teary-eyed over it, but stop. Sorry. I had a deal.
Okay. Now, you weren't and aren't a celebrity in any way, right?
No.
You just lived in this town, and did you have a job?
Yeah.
So you just got up every day and went to work and did your job and got your paycheck, cashed it, and went home. And then all of a sudden, you show up on this website and with this picture, which you say this was the picture that was up?
Correct.
Okay, and you say that you just want to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
And so she's to be accountable for this picture in what way?
Well, to me, the way I think is a little bit different, but I look at that picture and knowing the nightlife and knowing the people in it, she looks like the typical person.
Typical person.
Typical person.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Have you learned that?
I always judge a book by its cover. Have you learned
Is
that?
it the bracelet? Is it the dress? Is it the jacket?
It could be the orange skin. It could be the self tan. It could be a million things. But Here's my thing. I don't know you.
Exactly.
Okay? And if someone else submitted it, it was your friend. You put your picture on MySpace. You asked for the attention.
I had no idea, first off, can I interrupt? I had no idea it was going to be stolen, first off. Second off, that's my first photo shoot I ever did. That was my very first one. Obviously, I don't have practice. But because of that, I don't do anything anymore. Because of you, in a way. And you pretty much ruined my life because of that.
It's not because of me. It's because of your friend or the person that actually submitted it.
Who's the creator of the website?
I am.
Exactly. You're the one accepting all these pictures. And it's not my life only. Plenty of people's.
Here are the comments that were posted on your website. She looks like a tranny. Alcoholic, druggie, not up to par. Stop giving Washington a bad name. She gave her stepfather a in exchange for a boob job. She's got herpes. She could use a nose job.
These are all third-party comments. These are not comments that I made.
But what's the comment that you actually made when every single picture gets submitted? You write a comment, don't you?
Correct, I do.
Exactly. And do you recall that comment that you said about that picture?
It was probably 2 years ago.
Well, there you go.
You
2 years
remember.
ago? Exactly. You said I did look like a man, as a matter of fact. You said, oh, yeah, I don't remember. It was so long ago. I've tried to block all these bad memories.
I probably called you a shim is probably what I called
Excuse
you.
me?
A shim.
No.
It wasn't.
No. You said I looked like a man.
Well, she plus him. Shim.
But why would you do
What's
that?
the difference?
What?
I mean, you said they posted that. Why would you do
Here's
that?
Here's the thing, and it could be me. I don't know, but I know that when I say something, it's what I'm thinking, and I'm truthful. That's just how I am, Dr. Phil. If I see something and I write it, I type it as I say it, and people.
Well, are you truthful? Because I asked you if you thought these things did harm to people, and you said, "Oh, it's just entertainment."
It is entertainment.
But you tell me how truthful you are. Do you think it's entertaining to her?
I've not heard.
You have no idea what I went through. No idea. And you don't know what other people went through.
But I also know a ton of other people because I got emails every day thanking me for saving. No,
honey. Haters. I'm sure you have plenty.
I have a ton of people email me every day saying, thank you, Nick, for saving me, for going down a dark path that I shouldn't have gone, in the drugs and the alcohol and the clubs.
Oh, my God, you're a joke. You are a joke. You're a joke. And I hope this pays off.
I hope this makes you feel better.
You're a joke.
I hope this makes you feel better. If this is what you need and makes you feel better.
Yeah, actually,
okay,
it really
good.
does. I wish I could actually slap me, but luckily I can't.
Okay, but that is very condescending. If this is what you need, go ahead. I mean, do you put profit aside for a minute?
Yeah.
Do you think that this hurt this girl's feelings?
100%.
Do you care about that at all?
No.
You have no empathy for her whatsoever. You care
What
less
if your
whether it hurt her
wife was
feelings.
on the website?
She wouldn't be.
Oh, because you're the owner, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So if somebody just made up stuff about you, somebody did a video grab of this show from you
Dr.
and
Phil.
said, he's a homophobic pedophile and submitted that to dirty.com, are you going to post it?
It's already been done. I put myself up all the time. I'm a public figure now. I go out, people take pictures, they submit it to me. I make fun of myself just like anyone else. I'm no different from you.
Have you become a celebrity?
I guess you could say that.
How do you make money?
I get paid for celebrity appearances, and I get paid for advertising and merchandise.
So people advertise on your site, and they pay you to come to clubs?
Yes. Anywhere from, I don't know, 10 grand to 15 grand to show up for 2 hours.
So for 10 grand, they'll pay you to come to a club and hang out so they can say
There's
you're
more
going to be
people
there.
that like this site than hate it. I know it looks weird, but they come out, and I get, every week I'm in a different city, and I have fans. I don't know what to tell you. People, there's a niche for this
How are you
market.
going to feel when somebody kills themselves because of your website? How are you going to feel? Answer that, please.
I will. I would say that they're obviously looking for attention because they shouldn't have got there in the first
What?
place.
Come on. Are you serious? Wow.
Well, you say, you don't say that people are just looking for attention. You said, and this is a quote, people go out and find that aren't being held accountable for their actions and submit them to me.
Correct. Yeah.
So is she a that somebody found?
Well, more of a male word, but, you know, she looks a lot different from her picture today.
How so?
Dr. Phil, it looks like two different people. You look at the picture that you showed me and you look at her, it's a totally different person. It looks like she's actually, this picture affected her in a positive way because she looks well put together and she looks great.
It's called photo shoots, honey. You're not supposed to sometimes dress like this. You see all the models out there?
Every day.
I stopped shooting because of your website. So thank you.
You're welcome.
You say, if I see a girl and think she's fat, I'm going to say it.
Yes.
So...
Here, and listen, I'm different. I'm different. I think differently, obviously. I think differently. And I'm seeing things all the time right now that I keep to myself. But if I put it out there on my site, it's what I say, and people follow me. I have a cult following. It's called the Dirty Army, and they are civilian paparazzi, and they go out and they're fans of the site.
They're civilian paparazzi,
Correct.
which means they go find people that aren't celebrities.
They take a picture with their camera phone, or they send in images.
Put it up and derogate them in some way.
Yes.
And that's holding them accountable. And it makes them better people, like you've done here.
Yes.
So you've actually helped her.
I think she's a stronger person for it. It's an experience that you probably in some way, be honest with me right now, in some way.
I'll give you credit. That, because of that website, yes, that's the only thing.
It made you a stronger person.
Other than that, you have ruined. I can't go out in town without somebody being like, oh, you're the girl from the Dirty. Oh, did you really give your father because of for your boob job when I actually got it for a birthday? Yeah, it's stepfather. I'm sorry. I mean, come on. And you said you edit those things and you accept those things? You really believe that? Come on, you're a joke, dude. Seriously.
Well,
find another hobby.
Nick's wife, Shane, and his attorney are here as well. And they're going to join us, and we'll chat some more after the break. Well, we're here talking about controversial websites out there that can really take people down, can criticize them, I think can hurt them. Others say it's just for entertainment. Now, one of those websites, just one of them, is thedirty.com. The creator, Nick, is here, along with his wife, Shane, his attorney, David Gingras, and then Bruna is a victim, according to her, and says this site hurt her, destroyed a big part of her life, and should be shut down. Shane, thanks for being here. Y'all have been married how long?
6 months.
6 months.
And he owes me a lot of shoes for being here today.
Yeah. Now, you didn't know he had this website when you married him, right?
It was a joke, obviously. I'm trying to make light of this. Well, on my side, not light of the issue. No, I did not know what my husband did when I married him because
How long did y'all know each other when you got married?
24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Where did you meet?
Don't laugh. It's a dream come true.
Well, I mean,
we met in Vegas.
You met in Vegas. And you got married in Vegas.
We met in Vegas and we got married in Vegas. Literally, we didn't know who each other were. I had never heard of thedirty.com before in my life. I didn't know who Nick Ritchie was. He didn't know who I was, my name, so on and so forth. We got married. I married my husband, who you all don't know, and I do. And we married, and it's been amazing. Now, I didn't know what he did, to get back to your question, but I come from a different world, so I understand it.
Okay, what do you think of the website?
I personally do not go on the website. I've probably seen it about 2 or 3 times walking by. It's my husband's job. It's pure entertainment. I come from the entertainment world, and I've grown up in the entertainment business, and I've seen my family and all its glory, you know, all over the tabloids. I've been through it all. I do not condone anything that goes on, and I think that it's horrible with, you know, a beautiful lady like you know, you absolutely are devastated and have issues with what comes out of this. But with that being said, this man is respected in my eyes because he has made a business that has become big enough to be respected. He has a following. He has fans. These people come back to his website, Dr. Phil, not, you know, these people want more. This is like, he started this out of a cubicle in his office, like an 8 to 5 job, you know, just putting up his neighbor, a little thing, and then it's gone into much more.
You understand the sting of this, because you grew up in an entertainment family. Your father is Lorenzo Lamas, correct?
Yes.
And so you grew up in an entertainment family, then you got into the entertainment world, and they've written about you in the tabloids.
Yes.
I wrote some of those down. Reality TV star Shane Lamas shows off big new boobs. Reality star Shane Lamas busted for DUI. Lorenzo Lamas' ex Shauna Sand had an affair with his son. Shane Lamas caught cheating on Bachelor Matt Grant. So they take shots at you.
And those don't feel good. Absolutely. But I know who I am, and I know the truth and whatnot. And you shouldn't let this man, if you want to model, you should go and do it, not let some man, you know, that you don't even know or that doesn't know you stop you. Be confident with that and own it. And that's what I've grown to have, is thick skin, Dr. Phil. And that's, you are beautiful.
Okay, look, in this industry, you have to have thick skin. I've got thick skin. I have to have. I mean, they dog on me all the time. But we chose this. This is a civilian. This is a private citizen. You call it the civilian paparazzi. I think that's charitable. But she didn't enter the public arena and become a public figure. And putting a picture up on Facebook doesn't make you a public figure.
Well, she said she wanted to become a model. She's going into that world. This is the world she's choosing to go into.
No, I understand what you're saying, Dr. Phil. Yes, she did not choose to be on the website, and this is not, you know, this is...
Lawyer us up here, counselor.
From my website. I mean...
I know.
I mean, I know you know, you've been in the industry. Yes, we have tons of haters. That's always going to be like that.
No, listen, I understand. I don't know if you can feel me on that, but I am.
No, I understand.
You know, I don't go on the dirty.com. I've never heard of the dirty.com. You know, this is pure entertainment. And he was submitted that photo.
It may be entertaining to the people who read it, but it damn sure isn't entertaining to the people who are getting defamed, who are getting humiliated, and who are getting attacked.
Absolutely.
That's the issue. Somebody that reads it may go, oh, ha, 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 isn't that funny, isn't that cute?
Phil,
what a nice turn of phrase. But for the person who is getting bashed, it is not entertaining at all.
But there are things that come out of it. There are women on there that have put their babies in beer boxes. And, you know, I mean, there's horrible things that are sent into his website that
showcase for the world.
Absolutely, 100%. That's my neighbor. He, you know, child porn.
You're looking at some of the small cases.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, what do you want to say?
First of all, let's back up 1 second, and I think we can all agree there's a difference between sometimes what the law is and what's right, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I think we can all agree that this young lady didn't deserve some of the comments against her, and I'd like to apologize to you because I think you deserve that, and I'm sorry for that, okay? Let's just be clear about that. Now, having said that, the law allows Nick to do what he does because he's not the one writing those nasty comments most of the time. And I tell you, every time I see him write something that I think crosses the line, I immediately tell him, knock it off. That's not your role.
What do you think of the fact that he just said he took responsibility for it by the fact that he evaluates and edits all the comments before they go up on the site?
Legally, I know that doesn't make any sense, but that is irrelevant. If I go on...
It's not irrelevant.
It is absolutely... No,
it is. That is not irrelevant. You know it.
I
he
couldn't
is owning
disagree
that
more.
content. He is owning that content.
Let's
You don't
back
think
up.
that'll be a problem in a trial if somebody hurts themselves and sues him?
No, and let me tell you why. If I go onto drphil.com, which clearly you have control over and you moderate it, there's a message board there and I can post a comment. I could post the exact same comments that you've quoted about this young woman. Can I sue you for that, or could she sue you for that? Legally, she can't, because that comment came from a user, not from the owner of the website. And it does not matter if he edits it. the law actually encourages him to do that kind of editing, which he does. 9 times out of 10, he'll remove things almost instantly. And that's...
I'm glad you do, by the way. I mean, I am. I think you should do it a lot more.
No.
Seriously.
I try my best, Dr. Phil, but, you know.
Well, no.
Dr. Phil, you have to keep in mind that the law draws a distinction between the user's comments and the website's comments. They are not legally the same. And in this case, most of the nasty comments that you quoted about this woman here are user-generated comments, and Nick is not legally responsible for those, even if he can edit them, even if he doesn't edit them. They are not legally his responsibility.
So your point, and I think you made it pretty clearly, you said what is legal is not necessarily what is decent and right.
Correct.
And so you think this website is legal?
I think it's more than legal. It goes further than the law requires it to do that. And I think he should continue that freedom of speech. At the same time, let's stop comments that go too far. And he does that.
Okay, well, there are 2 people who say their pictures are constantly being posted on dirty.com. We're going to talk to them when we come back. Well, there are 2 people who are on dirty.com a lot. Freddie and Keena say they are now what are referred to as dirty celebs. Keena, tell me what that means.
In my opinion, it's just basically somebody who's a local celebrity that they've chose on that site to follow more frequently. And I mean, people, like when I'm out, people will see me and call me by the name that Nick's created for me.
Okay, Nick created a name for you?
Yeah.
And what was that name?
Scooby Snack.
Scooby Snack?
Yeah.
Okay. And at first, you didn't like this.
No, because honestly, it was just like a fabricated name about a situation that didn't happen.
Okay,
So,
and you were, it's because you were in an elevator with somebody dressed up in a Scooby-Doo costume?
No, one of Nick's friends, actually, his name's Scooby. They call him Scooby. And I was in an elevator dressed up and I had sunglasses on, so they decided to make it out that I was essentially on the walk of shame, like leaving a hotel. Although that wasn't the case, it was just a picture taken, and yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the first offensive post that came about 1.5 years ago said your dad pays for everything, you look like you're 40, you look like a man. Most of the posts now you say are about whether or not your breasts are real.
Yes, that's correct.
And people live vicariously through you, you say? Because they track
somewhat.
what you do?
Yeah, somewhat, yes.
Okay, and so that is a form of celebrity for you?
I mean, I wouldn't go to the extent to say celebrity, but it is, I mean, they call it a dirty celeb. I guess it's like a small town, I mean, obviously below D-list celebrities.
Did you have sex with this Scooby character?
Definitely not.
Okay, so when you posted, Scooby did say she was unbelievable in bed. That didn't really happen. But
No.
you didn't know it didn't happen.
No.
Because you were just saying what you were told. You're holding her accountable.
Listen. You can make me out to be the bad guy, but no, Keena's a great person. Keena's a great person. She embraced the celebrity and she ran with it.
Yeah, let me talk to Freddie. You say that you're called Freddie on
Correct, yes.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, meaning as in gay. So, I mean, I'm personally not gay. However, that's what they say about me. Now, does it affect me? It really doesn't.
David, do you have any concern that somebody might really take this in a bad way and do harm to themselves?
Of course I do. Ultimately, it's not my decision what comes down from the site or what stays up. But the comments that you made earlier about cyberbullying and particularly the suicide, which is in the news recently, Nick has that at the forefront of his mind. I think he's maybe downplaying that a little bit, but he is very conscientious, much more so than other clients that I have. He takes things down without question, even when he's not legally required to do that.
I don't have to take anything down.
You can paint him as a bad guy, but he does have a good side, and I make sure that he listens to that as best he can.
Well, I think I've been very forthcoming about the positive aspects of what he does on the side. I think I've given a very balanced view of what you do here. I think what you do is reprehensible. I don't like it. I wouldn't do it, but I have said I think you take steps that not everybody takes. So do you think tabloid sites like thedirty.com should be shut down? We'll go to drphil.com and you can take our poll. We'll be right back. Well, the internet is absolutely terrific. I mean, you have to admit, you can sit at home, I mean, you can pull up information, you can go places, you can discover things, but there is a dark side to it. Today we're talking about kind of the dark side tabloid portion of this, and we've been talking about a website called dirty.com. Nick has been here to talk about it, describe what he sees it as. He says it's just strictly entertainment. Now, those of you in the audience obviously have opinions about this. I want to hear what you think. What do you think about this? Stand up over here. We'll bring you a microphone.
I really don't think he cares. I think he knows that he hurts people. I don't really think that matters to him.
Yes, sir. Stand up.
I like to call these kind of people bottom feeders of our society. They just love to feed on what they can make their money off of versus what's right. So I really think what you're doing is wrong. You should not give a platform to this kind of media. It's just not right.
Can I say this?
Yeah, please.
A lot of you guys are judging me from one post. You're not looking at the overall, no, because you haven't been to the site. If you go to thedirty.com, I break national news stories.
And give you business? No, I don't think anybody here wants to waste their time.
Because of you, and you got everyone brainwashed here. I'm just saying, just give the site a chance.
You're
Check out the stories.
You're
Check out the
sick.
stories.
You're
It's not
delusional, buddy.
It's not just about you.
Okay, but you call it thedirty.com for a reason.
Correct, but there's politicians that have dirt. There's guys having affairs. There's relationships that we save. It's not just one girl who tried to be a model and her picture got stolen.
Well, the truth is we chose this particular example because it had some things that we can read on the air.
Okay.
There are many that are worse, even though you do what you can to clean them up. I mean, you do put in asterisks and you do block from nudity and that sort of thing. But there were a lot of these things that, to say that this was not representative of what's on there is wrong. You know that.
I couldn't, Dr. Phil, if you're telling me to take this one post and say, this is thedirty.com, not even close. You can't even look at it like that. Because we break celebrity stories as far as like athletes and doing stuff that's people doing drugs, getting caught in scandals, club owners hooking up with minors. You know what I mean? I put people out of business that are bad people. But you're laughing, but you haven't been to the site.
The funny thing is, I'm a drug addict, I'm a sexaholic. I've never done a drug in my life. I've drank, I can count in one hand how many times I've drank, and you're sitting there letting all my pictures up. I was on there 8 times. My attorney had to email you and scare the shit out of you and take it down. Finally, after 8 posts, how much is enough for you?
Where are the other posts? I want to see the other images.
Really? I believe they have all the posts.
Okay.
Do you have any idea how this affects our life? My daughter was hurting like hell, and I was there, and I couldn't do a thing because of you, because of all you decide to do. Do you know how? Do you have kids, Nick? Do you have seen your kids being hurt and you be impotent without doing anything just because coward people talk about your daughter, say about us because they're anonymous. And that's what caused the biggest problem. They are anonymous. When they are anonymous, we cannot do anything. We cannot go after them. And that's the problem we have in this society, because we should oblige those people to sign and identify who they are. At least we're going to see much less problem like this happening in this.
Okay, now, Augusta, you're her mother, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you're Bruno's mother. Okay, we'll be right back. I appreciate you being here today. Special thanks to attorney David Gingras. Thanks for weighing in on all this and for your points about keeping yourself safe on the internet. Those will be on drphil.com, as well as a link to David if you've got questions for him or something that you need help with. And Nick, thank you for coming and talking about this. I mean, clearly people view this differently, but you came, said what you had to say, and heard what others had to say. So I appreciate your willingness to do that. Shane, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. If you have any comments about what you saw today, and I know you do, post them on our message boards at drphil.com. And just like I've asked Nick to be more considerate of others' feelings, please do the same when you're posting on my website. Thanks for being here. So long. Yes. Yes, it is.
Today on Dr. Phil.
Emily is 16 and pregnant.
She'll be a mom before her prom.
She's not ready to be the mother of a child.
It's caused a huge rift in our family.
Is Hollywood glamorizing teen pregnancy?
I think that getting pregnant was a goal for Emily.
Did you get pregnant on purpose?
And who will pay the price?
I'd like to keep the baby.
What you really mean is you want to keep the baby so your family can raise the baby, right? This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. All right, it is impossible to walk past a magazine stand these days without seeing the face of one of these young women splashed all over the covers. Suddenly, teen pregnancy has become this pop phenomenon with hit reality shows turning young moms into overnight stars. So the question is Hollywood glamorizing teen pregnancy, or just giving us a realistic look into the lives of these young mothers? Now, Charles and Jeannie never thought they would hear the words, "I'm pregnant," coming from their 16-year-old daughter, Emily's mouth. Let's hear how the news has caused turmoil in this family.
I did tell my husband when we said our vows, when we got married, that it was for better and worse, and this is the worst.
I was stunned and shocked. Very quickly, I think we went into emergency containment mode.
From the moment I found out I was pregnant, I knew right away there was nothing that was going to change my mind, that I was going to keep this baby.
I'm concerned that we are going to have to be responsible for this baby, financially and otherwise.
Right away, he started bringing up the options of adoption and abortion, but keeping the baby really was not in his plans at all.
She's not ready to be the mother of a child.
I'm supporting her and supporting her decision to keep the baby. Every time we talk about it, it turns into a heated argument.
At 16, I don't think Emily is in a position to be a good mother.
I don't really talk to my stepdad because I'm just afraid of how he'll react. I feel really unimportant and unwanted. I feel like I don't even deserve to be in his house.
Okay. Tell me why we're here today. Jeannie, I'll start with you.
Sure.
Why are we here today?
With Emily being pregnant, it's caused a huge rift in our family.
Right.
Her decision to keep the baby, my husband and I don't agree.
Charles, you're the stepfather here.
Correct.
And you think it's a bad idea for her to keep this baby?
Absolutely.
And you think what?
I think that I want to support my daughter in whatever her decision is. And her decision to keep the baby, I feel like I need to be there to back her up and to be someone she can talk to and lean on during this process.
Okay. Is she qualified to make this decision?
I know that she's young, I know that she's immature, and I know that, you know, right now I feel like it's my job to teach her how to become a mom, and it's my job as her mother to kind of get her qualified and get her ready.
Have you had a reality lesson with her about what's about to happen here?
I've kind of gone over the logistics of the cost and what is entailed, and made it very clear to her that her decision to keep the baby, that she's mom. I'm grandma. I'll be there to help support, but she's changing diapers. She's doing all the dirty work.
Okay, and I understand, and you can say that with real conviction, but you don't actually believe that, do you? Do you actually believe that she's going to raise this child? She's going to nurture this child, develop this child, mature this child, and you're going to go on about your life and just be grandma?
No, I think that I'm going to be a big part of it. I mean, I know I am.
Because listen, here's the thing. One thing we've got to do today is we've got to be just completely, brutally honest. Now, that's one of the things that comes with maturity. See, when you're a child, you can kind of have fantasies and you can kind of entertain things. You can get caught up in the romance and the emotion of something. But when you're moving into the real world, then you have to deal with the absolute drop-dead, honest, true facts. So if we're going to have a conversation, we've got to be brutally honest here, right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of spinning this a little bit. Do you wish she had decided to keep the baby, or do you wish she had decided to place it for adoption?
I was concerned about her choosing adoption. I was worried about the pain that she would be going through.
Were you having unprotected sex?
Yeah, I was having unprotected sex, and I was on birth control.
Okay, but now you started her on birth control when you found out she was having sex.
Right.
And you said, why don't you just go get her a hotel room?
That's something that Jeannie remembers me saying.
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
But you remember that's having come up before.
Because that was hurtful, and I felt like as a mom, what else am I supposed to do?
You actually had her take the pill in front of you while you were watching.
Yeah,
every day.
When she started on the pill.
So what did you know that made you do that?
I know that she forgets. I know when she's had to take medicine in the past, she forgets to do it, and I wanted to make sure that she was doing it. And I also
children aren't responsible about that sometimes.
Right. And, also, too, I mean, I did have a fear that she maybe wanted to have a baby, wanted to become pregnant.
Did you get pregnant on purpose?
No, I did not get pregnant on purpose.
Did you want to get pregnant?
No.
And you want to keep the baby?
I'd like to keep the baby.
And raise the baby. But what you really mean is you want to keep the baby so your family can raise the baby, right?
No.
And I know that, as she finishes school, as she's working, I know that we're going to be watching the baby, or I will be watching
raising the baby. I mean, let's be honest. Look, I didn't just come in on a load of turnips. This is not the first teen pregnancy that I've dealt with in the last 35 years. And statistically, the chances of her actually graduating have dropped between a third and a half. The chance of her going to college, teen moms, you know what percent of them go to college?
No.
And finish and graduate? Just a little under 1.5%.
And I think with the whole adoption thing, I mean, that is something that, I've been asked, would you support that? I mean, it would be hard to watch her go through that, and it would be hard for me to watch my daughter go through the pain of that. However, I mean, if that was her choice, if she said, Mom, that's it, this is what I'm doing, then of course I would be there to support her. I think where my problem lies is she has, the choice, and everybody's kind of looking at her, asking what her choice is, and, she puts out there, I'm going to raise a baby, and what are you supposed to do?
Well, if I can interject
here. Let me take a break here. I've got to take a break, and then we'll start with what you have to say afterwards. And I've got a really important question when we come back, because I'm going to hear from 12-year-old sister, hear what her views are on this. And then I'm going to ask these people why not one person has said one word about what's best for this baby. We've talked about what the daughter wants, what the parents are willing to do, but not one person has said one syllable about this baby's rights and what's best for the child. We'll be right back.
When I found out that Emily was pregnant, I wasn't shocked or surprised because I saw it coming. I think that getting pregnant was a goal for Emily. When she found out, she was happy about it. She's never looked at it as a bad thing.
Jeannie's daughter, Emily, is 16 and pregnant. Even Emily's 12-year-old sister worries that she is living in a fantasy world. Take a look.
My older sister, Emily, is 16. We used to be a lot closer than we are now. Emily started to hit this phase where she just started to be mean to everybody. Emily is in a bad mood more often than she's in a good mood. When I found out that Emily was pregnant, I wasn't shocked or surprised because I saw it coming. There was just a feeling I had. She wanted everything to revolve around her. I think that getting pregnant was a goal for Emily. When she found out, she was happy about it. She's never looked at it as a bad thing.
Okay, yeah, thanks for being here. You are very well spoken. And you are 12, right?
Yeah.
You said you weren't surprised. Why?
I definitely wasn't surprised because I kind of saw it coming. I have my like own intuition. I really think that she was definitely very happy when she found out she was pregnant.
You think she did it on purpose?
She wants to say that she didn't do it on purpose, but I think there was a part of her that really did want to get pregnant.
You said that you want, this is a quote, I want Dr. Phil to make Emily realize she has to get a job and take responsibility for her life.
Definitely. I don't think she's responsible enough to be a mother, but I think if she really, really tries, then she can make a great mom.
Yeah. You think Sis here is ready to be a parent?
No, but hopefully she can get ready.
Why do you think she's not ready?
Because she's very self-centered. It's all about her most of the time.
Yeah. You say you think she's frustrated that Mom wants her to get a job.
I definitely think that. Like, one time we were at the mall just looking for job applications, and she wouldn't even go into the stores to even ask for an application. She didn't want to be there.
Yeah. Are you ready to be an aunt?
I'll be honest, I'm a little bit excited about being an aunt, but I really want the baby to have a good, responsible mom.
The job thing is absolutely true. It's a fight at home, and I've tried to explain to her, you're making the decision to keep the baby, but yet you don't want to go get a job.
What do you want to say? I cut you off right before we went.
That's okay, but earlier Jeannie said that whatever Emily's decision is, she'll support it. But I think at this age, at 16, she really doesn't know what's best for her. And I think that it's our responsibility as parents to help her make the right decision, not necessarily support the wrong one. And I think the way Jeannie's approaching it is she's almost abdicating her responsibility as a parent. I think we have to teach Emily that it's not the best thing to keep the baby because she's not able to be an effective mother.
I don't think that adoption should be forced, and I don't think it should be put out there as an ultimatum.
What we've got here, this is like, think about it. We're all lost in the forest. I mean, we're deep in the forest. It's dark, it's windy, it's cold. We are totally lost. And so we all huddle up and say, okay, who is the most confused, disoriented, lost person in the whole group? And Emily raises her hand. He said, well, let's follow her. Yeah. Isn't that exactly what we're doing? Yeah. Who out of everybody involved is least equipped to make this decision?
Yeah, probably her.
Probably her?
Yeah, it would be her.
Her 12-year-old sister is better able to make this decision because she has some objectivity from it. Nobody has mentioned a word about what's best for this baby. We've talked about what you want. You want to have the baby. You want to get the father of this baby, who, by the way, is broken up with you, right? Correct. He's gonzo. He's just moved on, but you think he still loves you. He may not come back. Isn't that true?
She doesn't want to deal with that. She doesn't want to hear it. It's really hard for her to deal with it.
Do you love him, or is he just the father of your baby?
I love him.
You love him. And you think he loves you. You think you're going to reconcile. And you said you want to get a little house. And y'all move in and raise this baby.
That's right.
But he doesn't even talk to you now, right?
He avoids talking to me a lot.
Are you concerned at all about what's best for the baby? Not what you want to do, but what's best for the baby?
I'm concerned that I won't be able to make the right decisions for the baby, like doctors, wise, and all that.
Babies that are born to teen moms do much less well in school than babies who are born to older moms. Half of them fail a grade, okay? 2/3 of teen moms are poor, and kids without the dad involved, which is what we have here, are 5 times more likely to be poverty-stricken in life than those who have the father involved. And daughters of teen moms are 3 times more likely to become teen moms themselves, and the boys are 2 times more likely to wind up in prison. So what we have to look at here is that if you decide to do this because it's what you want to do, the future for this child is substantially compromised.
I'm a product of a teen mom. My mom was 16 when she had me. She was put in the same position Emily is being put in now, where her parents were, you know, she was being pressured pretty hard into adoption. And, you know, she did raise me successfully, and I know that might be that statistic where things worked out, you know, and, you know.
No, I didn't say it was 100%.
Right,
I said
right.
you were saying what's been the best interest of the baby. If you had a child and you were standing on the street corner and the child was going to cross the street and you checked the stats and you thought, well, 50% of the time a kid crosses the street, they get hit by a car, 1 in 2, take a shot.
Right.
Would you do that?
No, it's not something that I wanted for her. I would certainly never wish that, you know, my daughter would be a teen mom. I'd never, you know, wish that this would happen. You know, I wish that she would go on and go to college and, you know, get her life together, get married and start her family and all of that.
Okay, but we're talking about the baby, not your daughter right now, because you have some divided loyalty here, and the baby doesn't have a voice. All right, look, we're going to take another break. There's a quiz that we gave you before the show, asking a lot of questions, because you said, I have talked to her about what things cost and everything. So we wanted to find out how well she learned those lessons and how close she was to being accurate and on target, because again, we have to deal with the reality of this situation. We'll talk about that when we come back. I have said before, I am so glad I had boys because, I mean, the decisions seem so much easier. And in this situation, I am concerned that boys who get girls pregnant get a pass. I mean, we're here talking about this. We're here talking about what to do and what your decision needs to be. Dad's not here. We can't let these boys just get a free pass. I think that's ridiculous. Now, babies require a lot during their first year of life. Now, I asked you to take a quiz, Emily, before the show, right? And I took away her cell phone and all the electronic equipment so she couldn't Google up the answers. So we want to see how she did. Now, I'm doing this not just for you, but for all the teen moms that are out there, because, or all teenagers out there, because I want people to understand there's a lot that goes into this. Now, one of the questions we pulled is, what is the cost of prenatal care? Your answer was $420. You said for the first year, you thought it would be $420. But the average answer actually is $1,500. So you missed that by a lot, right? You got a third, less than a third. Now, do you know what copay is? No. Okay, so if you have insurance, I don't know if you do. Do you know if you have insurance?
I have insurance.
To cover this pregnancy?
Yeah, I'm doing Healthy Start.
Okay, so you would have a copay, and the copay for a doctor visit is usually, I don't know, 20, 25 bucks. If you go to an emergency room, even if you have insurance, there's a copay. Do you know how much that is?
No.
Just to go, even with insurance, you would have to pay on average of 120 bucks. If you were working 20 hours a week at $7, $8 an hour after taxes, that would be all of your money just to go to the emergency room one time. And then you would be broke. Question 2, what is the average cost of baby food for 1 year? Now, your answer on baby food was $300. You think she's high or low? No. Okay, the correct answer is $672. What is the average cost of diapers for 1 year? Your answer was 600 bucks. High or low? Okay, well, the correct answer was $1,152. This is 320 diapers. That's 1 month's supply. Because a year's supply of diapers, on your budget, you'd be changing a diaper twice a day. But in an average year, you're going to change a diaper 3,840 times a year. What's the average cost to raise a baby for the first year? Your answer was, do you remember?
$5,000.
$5,000. And the actual cost is $10,158. So you missed that by half as well. Now, that includes food and clothes and prenatal care. Then after the baby is born, you've got to have the follow-up visits and all the injections, all of the things that you have to have. That doesn't include housing. It doesn't include special things like toys and all of that sort of thing. We did our research, and if you work 20 hours a week at minimum wage, you would make $146 a week. That's $7,592 a year. Now, you say extracurriculars could get in the way of that, but let's say you did no extra, you just went to school, then you went to work, you worked 20 hours a week, you would make $7,500. Well, it's $10,000 just for the essentials, so you're now $2,500 short. And then while you're working, you've got the cost of childcare, unless mom just says, well, okay, I'll watch the baby while you go work. Childcare would probably cost more than you would make. So you're in a real pickle. If you pay a babysitter, they're going to make as much as you make on your job. And then if you decide that you want a house with this, say this boyfriend comes back, and you get a house, I mean, you know, even a modest home with utilities, you got to pay electricity and gas, and all this is probably going to cost you $1,000 a month minimum. So you're way in the hole. How did you plan to make all of that up?
All the money?
Yeah. Because you're coming up about 10, 15,000 short.
Well, at first I wasn't expecting the dad to leave, so I was expecting to kind of do half and half. But now it's...
Well, but even if he came back, I'm sure he would have an exciting career in the fast food industry. So, I mean, he doesn't have any skills, right?
He sculpts.
He sculpts?
Yeah.
Well, problem solved. Next, we're going to meet a group of teen moms, not the reality stars you see on TV. They talk about what they had to give up, and you're going to listen, right?
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back.
I had to find out how to do a diaper. I had to find out how to make a bottle.
I was on new birth control pills when I got pregnant at 16.
I got pregnant because I thought babies were really cute.
Okay, now you guys have been listening to the conversation that I've been having down here with Emily and her family. What's your reaction to her thinking at this point?
She doesn't know. She doesn't know half of it.
What do you mean?
Well, my husband and I own a house, and just in bills for the house, well over $1,000. That doesn't include Ethan and all the bills that we pay for him. the doctor bills, the diapers, the food, everything.
What was the biggest shock for you?
The fact that she's doesn't already have a
No,
job.
I mean for you in your life.
Oh,
You were a cheerleader,
correct.
and you moved in with your boyfriend at 17
I did.
because you said you felt like a grown-up.
I did.
Yeah. How'd that work out?
Not so well. It definitely was the biggest mistake moving in with him that early.
Yeah. How long after you moved in before you got pregnant?
3 months.
3 months. So you were 17.
I was 17 when I got pregnant.
What have you had to give up?
I had to give up going to college. I had already had a scholarship to school. I had to give up friends, going out, a sorority that I planned on being in. I had to give up time, money, everything.
You know, I said that teen moms don't have a good track record of finishing high school. How did you do?
I dropped out.
You dropped out. You working on your GED now?
I'm getting my GED next month, and then January I'll be starting college.
How did it affect your relationship with your friends?
I don't really have a lot of friends that aren't moms anymore. 90% of my friends are parents.
How about you, Melissa?
Well, I got pregnant when I was 18. The reason I did it was I thought babies were cute and I wanted a baby.
You said you got pregnant. You moved in with your boyfriend and you were pregnant within a week?
I found out I was pregnant a week later.
A week later.
Yes.
And you, kind of like I was talking about before, you thought babies were cute.
Yes.
They do grow up though, don't they?
Yes, I did not realize all the expenses.
Yeah. Yeah, you were having unprotected sex, right?
Yeah, we were.
And at the time you were doing that, did you want a baby?
We did want a baby, but after it also wasn't working for us, so we decided not to have a baby, and a week after I come out pregnant.
Okay. Is he still involved?
Yeah, we got married a month after.
How are you doing financially?
We're not doing so good.
How so?
I'm the only one working right now. He's going to school for EMT, and I know he's going to school and not working because he's trying to make it better for us in the future, but it's not working for me right now.
Yeah, so it's hard for you. You're 8 months pregnant,
Yeah,
you're working. What kind of work do you do?
I do customer service for an insurance office. Okay. It's not hard, but
Do you
I
get to
just
sit
get
down?
I get to sit down, but I just get tired of being there.
Oh, yeah, gosh, I'll bet so. All right. What these moms and moms-to-be have to say to Emily when we come back. Well, Jackie, Courtney, Christina, and Melissa all have one thing in common. They're teen moms, or soon will be, and they've had to make major sacrifices because of this decision of getting pregnant before they were at a point in life where they could sustain themselves, let alone someone else. You know, anything you guys think she needs to weigh in her decision about what to do at this point? Because your decision's over. I mean, it is what it is. You've now got the baby. I'm sure you love the baby. But is there anything she needs to really be thinking about?
Yes, if you don't think that you're personally ready for it, then I wouldn't do it. But you have to be ready to give up your life because you don't matter anymore. Every decision that you make is because of the baby.
Are you prepared to do that?
Yes, I'm prepared.
She's not prepared.
Why do you say that?
Because I read every book and went to every class and I wasn't prepared. I prepared in every way that I thought I could, but when he came, I wasn't prepared. Nobody's prepared, especially a teenager, especially a 16-year-old who's still in school.
I just think you need to think about stuff because not everything's going to be perfect. There's stuff that could go wrong.
I'm not a single mother, but I feel like I am because my boyfriend's constantly at school or work, so I'm taking care of the baby by myself, you know, and it's going to be hard.
Are you at all concerned about the fact that you're forcing this major life change on the rest of your family?
Yes.
That's been the biggest point of conflict between my husband and I is, you know, I know that, you know, I'm there to support her with the what I'm going to have to do and step up. And, you know, my husband doesn't want any part of it, and it's caused extreme. I mean, it's really getting in between our marriage.
Okay, and you said if you're forced to choose, you're going to do what?
I would have to choose my daughter. I don't know what mother wouldn't choose their child over someone else. And I don't want to do that. I absolutely 100% don't want to do that. But I just feel like I'm kind of in protection mode at this point. I feel lost of how to support her, how to, work with my husband and be able to discuss it, because it's to the point where we don't talk about it at all. If we even bring it up, that's it. It's a heated conversation. It leads to a huge argument, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
But are you protecting her?
I am protecting her.
If what you're doing is supporting a choice and a decision in her that will change her life in a way from which she may never recover, she'll go down a path, and I mean, education will be gone. All of those things can and statistically predicted will happen. Is it protective to do that because you're afraid she's going to have an emotional reaction to separating from this baby and placing it for adoption?
I mean, I see your point on that, and I don't know. I haven't, I guess, thought of it in that light. I think what I'm protecting her from is, when I say that, is the negativity that's come and the forcefulness that's come from everybody.
But is it negativity or is it reality? I mean, it's like I'm saying, if it would be very negative for me to come in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner and say, Jeannie, I hate to tell you this, but your master bedroom is totally ablaze. It is on fire. And you would say, well, that is so negative. We're having dinner here. Can you not see this is Thanksgiving? I said, well, I understand, but it is on fire and it's now going up through the roof. And I mean, this is rolling down the track. You can say, well, you're just being so negative. Would I be negative or would I be realistic in telling you the truth about what's getting ready to happen?
That's realistic.
And all I'm trying to say is, look, I've been through this so many times, and I look at this precious daughter you have, and you are a delightful young woman. I mean, seriously, you're as cute as you can be. But I have to say, it seems to me that her readiness and preparedness to be a mother, even with you guys backstopping her, is practically non-existent, which it shouldn't be. She's 16.
Right.
She's a child having a child. But part of growing up is to realize when you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. And she chose a behavior here with a consequence that affects a human being for the rest of their life. Do you give proper consideration to what is best for this baby? I feel like I'm the only one speaking for the baby here. The baby has no voice. I'm trying to say, okay, I can either stay with this teen mom and I can have 2 times more likelihood of going to prison, having a teen pregnancy if I'm a girl, flunking in school, living on poverty, or I can go live with a family that desperately wants a child, has been screened by professionals, is mature, is stable, is financially well-rounded. Everything is in place to give me a chance to be loved and have traction.
I get that. I know. I'm not saying that the best thing for her to do is keep the baby. I don't believe that. What I do believe is that, I guess it's just, I feel like that, I'm trying to protect her feelings, and I know that there's the baby there, and I know I've got to protect the baby's feelings, and I do get that.
But you're trying to protect her feelings in the moment,
right,
without looking ahead. We'll talk about this family's decision when we come back. Well, we're talking about teen pregnancy. This isn't something new. It's actually, the rate is down just a little bit in the United States. But our teen pregnancy rate in America is 8 times higher than it is in Japan. It's 2 times higher than it is in the UK. I mean, we're doing something wrong, and that's a conversation for another day. We already are pregnant in this situation, and when I say we, I mean you, and you are pregnant, because this isn't something where she's going to have this baby and go off to young motherland. And the reality is, you thought you were 12 years into the mission, 16 years into the mission, but the truth is you're starting over, because you're going to have to raise this baby. Do you get that reality? She can do what she can.
Right.
But it's like, you know, it'd be like asking her to get taller.
Right. No,
You just, you know, it's not a matter of I want it really bad, because, you know, her brain isn't fully developed yet. Emotionally, mentally, physically, she's just not to the point yet that it's fair to ask her to do everything she's getting ready to be asked to do.
If she, you know, continues to choose to keep the baby, I know I'm going to end up raising the baby. I don't know how. We've had conversations when no one's around, and you know, talked about it, and I've asked her, and we've, you know, gone over it, and you know, she's adamant. She's 100%. I'm keeping the baby, and she's telling me this, and I don't know as a mom how to persuade her that this isn't the best
thing. Let me ask you, why are you so adamant about keeping this baby?
I want to step up and try and say I can try. And if I succeed, I can say I succeeded. Instead of just saying, well, this is too hard, I'm going to back down because this isn't good for the baby.
What is in the best interest of the baby?
I just know if I was adopted, I wouldn't feel that loved. I'd be like, well, why did my parents keep me? And they might understand that I couldn't afford it or anything, but I know that it'd be really difficult for everybody.
I can think of no greater act of love than for the parents of a child who are not equipped to give that child the best chance in life. I can think of no greater act of love than to put their feelings aside and place this baby in a loving home that gives it a better chance at life. I mean, to say that you would not feel loved and would wonder why your mother wouldn't keep you. Parents that place their children for adoption do so because they love that child more than themselves. I think you need to have a serious reality conversation with your daughter. I mean, obviously she has no clue what things cost.
Yeah, I can see that.
She has no clue. She still fantasizes that this boyfriend is going to come back and be in the picture. You've got a daughter living in denial. You've got a daughter living in fantasy, and it is your job to say, if we're going to make this decision, let's make it with full set of facts on the table. And I would ask you to revisit that.
I can't say anything about her being pregnant or the child or anything like that at home, you know, because, you know, I feel like I don't have that support system behind me trying to kind of talk her through it. And I don't know how to do that. I mean,
There are specialized counselors, Emily, that work with these decisions. They work with adoption agencies. They work with adoptive parents and bio moms, which is you, to think through this and put all the cards on the table to think it through. Would you be open to sitting with someone like that and discussing this if I've arranged that for you? To sit down and say, help me think through this so I can go back and revisit my decision. Would you at least listen to what someone had to say?
No.
You say no because you think that's a step towards adoption.
Yes.
one thing that I'm concerned about is if she chooses adoption, if she, you know, in the beginning chose not to have the baby, I feel like, too, I'm worried that in 6 months we're going to be right back in this position. We're going to be sitting here, her wanting a baby, or, you know, either wanting a baby, pregnant. You know, I think she's got it in her head that she wants to have a baby, and
I'm going to ask you, If I set this up for you and her to go and sit down and listen with reason to both sides, the pros and cons, and there are cons. I don't doubt. Listen, there are cons. It's difficult. It's a difficult decision to hand that baby over. I get that. But somebody needs to sit down and crack the fantasy world and deal with the realities here. If I make that specialized resource available to you, will you go with her?
Absolutely.
And hear it out. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank all of my guests for being here today. Look, I know this is a difficult subject. I know I'm going to get letters from some of you saying you are trying to push that girl into placing that baby for adoption, you this, you that. And I know I'm going to get letters that say she doesn't get it. Somebody needs to give her a wake-up call. And probably you're right on both counts. I don't think, Emily, that you are prepared to be a parent at this point. I think your life takes a drastic turn. I think the baby's life takes a drastic turn. And I think you just need to think through this and consider it. You look like you were about to bust to say something, Courtney. What was it?
I just don't think reality has hit her yet. The fact that she doesn't even have a job just strikes me as, I'm just amazed. She should have a job by now, if anything, to be saving some money. She still has time to save some money to put away. The amount of money is ridiculous. And I hope they're prepared to spend money too, because they will. Yeah. If she doesn't get a job, they will.
And you know, what do you want to say, Charles?
Well, adding on to that, the last time we talked to Emily about getting a job, she told us she did not have to get a job yet because the baby hasn't even been born.
I had a job.
That was afterwards.
Yeah, you got to bankroll some money here. I'm trying to put the facts out here, and Mom, you got to play bad cop at least some of the time here and visit. It is not negativity, it is reality. I'm going to make the resource available. Okay. I hope you embrace it.
Thank you.
Little sister, thank you for being here and talking about all of this. You are a prize egg, I'll tell you for sure.
I really appreciate you even letting me come and be on this show, because I know this isn't what you usually do.
You bet. You need your own talk show. Thanks for being here. So long.
The following program contains strong sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on Dr. Phil.
I believe my granddaughter was molested by her father.
He's accused of the unthinkable.
You have no facts. You're nothing but a liar.
Trusts were betrayed.
You took her child to have a pelvic exam and didn't tell her mother?
Vows were broken.
You have cheated on her in this marriage.
I'm not cheating now.
But was a child's innocence
I'm not going to allow her to take him away from my kids.
stolen forever?
Are you willing to take a polygraph examination?
This father
I have nothing to hide.
stands accused.
Our family has been torn apart.
I don't want my kids taken away. They need us.
Today, the family discovers the truth.
The results of the test are... Can you imagine being a grandmother and hearing your 4-year-old granddaughter tell you that her hurts? And when you ask her why, she says, maybe it's the bad man who wears a blue mask. You sit there in disbelief, completely startled and shocked. Then you ask her who the bad man in the blue mask is, and she screams the unthinkable. It's my daddy.
I believe without a doubt my granddaughter was molested by her father. She didn't just tell me once, she said it twice. One night I was putting my granddaughter to bed. She said, Grandma, my pee-pee hurts. And that's when she said, well, maybe the bad man touched me. I said, you have to tell Grandma, who's the bad man? She said the bad man wore a blue mask. And then when I asked who it was, she said it was her daddy. So up I went to tell Karen. I said, look, you're not gonna believe what she just told me. You need to hear this. I left my granddaughter in the kitchen with Karen, and when I returned, Karen said, pretty much it didn't happen. I was like, you need to tell your mom what you told me. I called CPS and reported what my granddaughter had told me. CPS found nothing. A few months later, my granddaughter makes the same outcry. We were in the living room, and she all of a sudden says, my pee-pee hurts. And she is loud. She's like, you know, my pee-pee hurts. And I was like, oh my God. Tasha said, and you have to tell who the bad man is. And she just yelled, it's my daddy. And she jumped down just that quick, like onto the floor, maybe about 5 or 6 feet away. For the second time, Child Protective Services closed the case. The next day, my granddaughter was playing with a stuffed animal. I asked her, where did the bad man touch you? And she spread its legs and pointed right in the middle. And it just confirms what she said. It's what she said. Karen does not believe her daughter. She doesn't believe any of it. I believe my granddaughter.
But this little girl's mother, Karen, says her husband would never lay a hand on their daughter.
What my mother has done is absolutely unforgivable. I hate my mother for accusing my husband of raping my daughter. I asked her, I said, does anybody hurt your pee-pee? And she said no. A couple minutes later, my mom tells me, my daughter, tell mommy that you told grandma that daddy hurt your pee-pee. And I told her, I've already talked to her. I said, do not put words in her mouth. She feels like she's above the law, and this is why she's done this.
I don't think that Karen's a good mother. I think that a good mother believes her child.
I do not think my daughter was ever molested. My mom is sick. Who would accuse somebody of this? Who? I mean, it's disgusting.
Oh, I'm not a liar.
We allowed CPS to come in and tear our family apart. We felt so violated. You can do a lot to me, hurting my babies. I will not stand for that. My mom and my sister totally betrayed me. They went behind my back. They had a rape kit done on my child.
The exam was the right thing to do.
She was raped because of my sister and my mother. My mother was never like Jason. This is her way of making sure that I wouldn't be with him anymore.
He has cheated on her multiple times. I wonder if he's a sex addict because Jason's been with probably over 50 women since he's been with my daughter. Jason can seem like a good dad during the day, but if he's molesting his children at night, that's not a good dad.
She told me she was going to have Jason killed. She said, better yet, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. I said, you've met your match. You've met your match.
What were you saying during the tape?
She's disgusting. She's done nothing but lie and hurt my baby. I cannot believe what you've done.
What has she done?
She had my daughter raped is what she's done. She has accused my husband of raping my baby.
Without your permission?
Without my permission.
Without them telling you, they took your daughter to the hospital and subjected her to a full-on rape kit, correct?
Absolutely.
All right.
It's called a SANE test. And
I know what it's called. Did you do that without telling her?
Correct.
Okay, do you have the right to do that?
The police instructed my daughter to take her to the hospital and to have that test done.
Okay, but the police may say do this, do that, but if this is not the child's guardian, do you people have the right to take her down there and have her subjected to this?
They would not have asked that be
Well,
done.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Okay,
Just because
and
they
that
said
could
it
be.
doesn't mean it's true.
Okay.
I
But
mean,
yes,
why would you do this behind your daughter's back?
I wasn't talking to her.
But you took her child
That's correct.
to the hospital to have a
Correct.
pelvic exam and 30 photos, completely stripped down, and didn't tell her mother?
I think that Natasha was instructed. I'm positive she was told not to say anything. I'm positive.
Who was told not to say anything?
The daughter that will be coming out. I wasn't the one talking to the police, so I'm not the
Okay,
one.
but does that seem reasonable to you?
Yes,
Because I got to
yes,
tell
I
you, if
do.
somebody takes my child to get some type of medical examination or care without my permission, you got a problem with me, lady. I can tell you right up front. That would not be okay.
But I'm still looking out for my grandchild. That was
Well-
the instruction. I understand. But yes, the answer
But do you
was
think
yes.
that's reasonable to do?
I did. I wouldn't have gotten the vehicle. Tasha drove. I was in the passenger side. Yes, I do.
So you thought it was reasonable to take her daughter to the hospital without her knowing it and have her subjected to this intrusive examination?
Yeah, and I don't think I was there, and it was not intrusive.
Well, okay. I'm sorry. It is intrusive, and it certainly is something that a mother would want to be there for their child. Now, I don't know whether she has been molested or not.
I agree.
I'm not saying that.
I understand.
But I'm saying we got to be reasonable in the way we proceed here, because what you're doing obviously isn't working. So what did this examination find?
Absolutely no findings of any kind of trauma to my baby.
I've read the hospital report. That's what it says.
I agree.
Okay, so based on results, did you overreact in this situation?
No.
Why were there no findings?
You would have to ask the medical people that. There were no
Well,
findings.
I'm asking you. You're here, and you're the one that made a decision to do it because you were so certain that there would be a positive finding. Were you surprised when there
No,
wasn't?
actually, I can't say that yes or no. I was certain on that. My daughter was instructed to take her, and I went with her. It would have been no different. I'm backing my granddaughter. She said these things happened, and I believe her, period. Rake me over the coals, but I believe my grandchild. Findings or not.
I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. Look, I believe this, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell everybody this. When it comes to child protection, when it comes to molestation, I think we have to have what's called a false positive situation. That means we assume that something has happened until we prove it's not. Because in most situations, you know, it's innocent until proven guilty. And I believe it's exactly opposite when you're dealing with children. Because I would rather investigate 1,000 accusations that are unfounded than to fail to investigate one that is based in fact. So you have to give the child every benefit of the doubt. You have to assume that you need to intervene in order to protect. And when you first heard the allegation, did you take it seriously?
Absolutely. Well, no. Let's back up, because in June or July, my mother came to me stating that my babysitter's husband had raped my daughter. And I did do exactly what she said. I took her to the hospital. They referred us to Child Safe. Child Safe did a full exam on Kyron then. There was no findings of anything. After there was no findings of anything at that point, she then accused Jason of raping Kyron. I allowed CPS to come in, take our kids from us, do another exam on Kyron, examine all my children. That case got closed. There was no findings of anything. And then she goes behind my back and has my daughter raped. Takes her to a hospital.
Okay, when you say has her raped.
That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. They raped my baby. They did this. That's exactly how I feel. Nothing has happened to that baby except for what she has done to her.
Okay, and each time this has gone on, there's been no findings. CPS has investigated this once, twice, 3 times. no findings. You've had 2 hospital examinations, no findings.
No finding of penetration.
No findings of anything. No ripping, no tearing, no vaginal, anything. There's been no findings of nothing, and you
Do you really think that molestation hurts if they know what they're doing?
What are you sitting here complaining of?
I'm stating facts.
No, you have no facts. You're
What was
nothing
that?
but a liar. You have no facts.
We'll
My
get to
daughter
see
was
who's the
peeing in her
liar.
pants. Her pee-pee was hurting. Guess what? Mommy and Daddy were separated. Kyron went through a big change in her life when she started peeing in the bed. Mommy and Daddy weren't living at home together. You know, that's a huge deal. Kyron was peeing in her pants. But that's totally irrelevant to Jason raping Kyron.
And you understand that you have to take an allegation seriously until such a time as you've vetted it fully.
Absolutely. And the
worst
first time I
thing you
did.
can do is have a child come to you and say,
She's never come to
someone
me,
has
Dr.
touched
Phil.
me, someone has hurt me, to go to anybody she trusts and not be believed. You have to give the child the benefit of the doubt. And you took it seriously up front,
absolutely,
right?
I did.
But
Absolutely.
you believe that she just doesn't like your
She
husband.
hates him, and I don't care that she hates him. Look at what she's done to me. I hate her. I hate you.
I love you.
You don't love me, or you wouldn't have done this to my baby. Do you
I
not
didn't
understand?
do anything to
You
her.
did not do anything to my baby.
No.
You did. You're sick. You're
Yeah,
sick.
I know. But you know what? I'm going to stay on the subject.
You're sick.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. The father in question, this little girl's father, is here. We're going to talk to him when we come back.
My mother-in-law has hated me from day one. I'm a great father. My daughter has never been molested. I would never, ever do such a thing.
And later, clearly a tool for clarity here is to take a polygraph. Are you willing to do that?
One night, I was putting my granddaughter to bed, and she kissed me, it was just a quick little peck, and she told me, let me do it right. And then she put her tongue in my mouth and she kissed me. I asked her where she learned to do that, and she said, Daddy gives perfect kisses.
She didn't stick her tongue in my mouth. You're
You
such
just
a liar.
said she did the same thing to
No,
you.
she walked up. You were freaking out, and she walked up and said, you told her, Kyron, show Mommy what Daddy does. Show Mommy. She walked up to me and gave me a huge kiss on my lips and said, that's a perfect kiss, Mommy. And you know what I
That's
told?
not what happened to me.
You were standing right beside me when she did the same thing.
Where were we?
At your house, in my
Where?
bedroom.
That's right. And she
Absolutely.
was standing on the bed. And that is not how that occurred.
You are so sick.
Well,
You are so
I
sick.
understand that I'm the bad guy, but I'm here for my
The
granddaughter.
bad guy? You are disgusting.
Well, you can think that all you want.
So what you're saying is, and listen, I get your position and your role, and if you believe what you believe,
Position?
then I would expect you to fight to the bitter end to protect your granddaughter if you think someone is hurting her.
Yeah.
Now, what you're saying is that she French kissed you
Yeah.
and said that's how Daddy does it.
Yes, and that it's the perfect kiss.
Okay, so
You're so disgusting.
you say that's what happened, and therefore that's evidence that he's doing that to her.
No, I strictly go by what she told me, that he did that.
Okay, and despite all of these investigations and 2 hospital examinations, you still feel that we just haven't found it out yet.
I do.
Okay, now you're a former police officer, right?
Yes.
And that's why you say that you think the police have the right to take someone's child and instruct someone else to take them to the
I'm
hospital.
not saying that because I was a police officer. I'm saying that because, you know, they said to do it and it was fine.
And you think that's okay? You think that's
that was
reasonable?
fine.
Okay, well, let's hear Jason's side of the story.
I have been accused of raping my daughter. I would never, ever do such a thing. It makes me sick to even think about it. Karen's mom and her sister are both crazy. Melody is a lying piece of crap of a mother and a grandmother. My daughter has never been molested. The only time she was violated was when her grandmother took her to the doctor and had a full rape exam done on her. I will never forget the day that the letter came in the mail from CPS, and I had been accused of raping all 3 of my kids. An officer had to strip down all my kids. It was lunacy. When we were being investigated, we had to be supervised with our kids. I had to have eyes on me at all times, and I felt like a criminal. It hurt that I Couldn't do anything alone with my kids. I couldn't have daddy time. My mother-in-law has hated me from day one. How could she do this? I'm a great father. I don't want Karen's mother or sister to ever make a claim like this again.
Well, you haven't seen your son-in-law in almost a year, right?
Correct, nor her.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year.
Well, we're going to bring him out now and talk to him. So let's bring Jason out. Jason, Phil, how you doing? See. We've been talking about what's happened here with your daughter. This is your biological child. There are allegations being made by her that you have molested your daughter, that you have been inappropriate with her at whatever level. I'm going to ask you straight out, is that true?
Never. Never. I love all my kids. They're the reason I had kids early. I love all of them. My father died when I was young. From that day, I told myself, I'm going to be that dad that I had for my kids.
You haven't touched this daughter
Never.
inappropriately
Never.
in any way.
The kiss she's talking about was on the lips. There, I said, that's the perfect kiss, baby. I said, all my kids' kisses are the perfect kiss. Nothing like that ever happened. That's
Well, it
ridiculous.
happened to me.
No. Always
Okay,
happens
please,
to you,
I
right?
don't try to tell you what you've experienced. I know what Kai did to me, and I know what
funny
she
that
said
you're
about
the
you.
only
Just
one
you,
she
right?
tells. It's funny.
You know
You're
what?
the
I
only
do.
person
I
she
find
tells.
that awfully odd.
find that
I
funny.
think it's because she trusts me.
I think it's because
Because you're the bad grandma.
They're all scared
she
of
calls
you.
you the bad grandma, the mean grandma.
You know what? I
she
have
has
no
perfect,
doubt
great
that she now may
grandparents
say things like that.
Great.
But we know before this,
Please.
no.
How many times, Mom, really, let's
And
be
50
honest.
people?
Out of
I haven't had sex
Kyron
with
being
50
5
people
years
in my
old,
whole life.
How many times have you really kept my kids? Let's talk about it. For real.
Many.
10 times at
10
most.
times maybe.
Oh, y'all were
5,
full
maybe,
of it.
no.
And then they moved
No.
in with me.
Oh,
that's
you
not
might
right.
think that
You
that's
are
saying
right.
you're a
Hold
good
on
grandma.
here.
You're
You say that he has not been a good husband, but that he has been a good father.
Our marital problems are separate and apart from that. He is the number one daddy. He is the best daddy. She took my dad away from me. I will not, what she wants, I know what she wants. She wanted to take away, I never had my dad because of this one. Because I believed every word that ever came out of her mouth. I have him now. But I'm not going to allow her to take him away from my kids.
Let me ask you something.
Minnie's made these statements twice. And she said, well, it's my daddy, but he wears a mask. Somebody needs to get to the bottom of what is going on.
Let me ask you something. When they split up, because you cheated on her, correct?
Not the last time. Is not why we split up. It wasn't
Okay,
from
but you
cheating.
have
I had
cheated
before.
on her in this
Yes.
marriage
Yes.
more than once.
Yes.
Okay, and you know that, and
Yes.
you don't like that. You agree that's not right.
Nowhere near 50 times.
Of course, that's not right, but
I agree. I'm not cheating now.
And your mother wanted you to go for full custody of the children,
yes.
and you refused to do so. Why?
Well, because I wasn't going to rip him out of their lives. We were going to do joint custody. It was going to be he had him half the time, I had him half the time. I didn't want my kids' lives. They need him. They worship the ground he walks on. I wasn't going to do that.
Were you upset that she wouldn't do that?
Absolutely not. No.
You weren't upset that
In
she
Texas,
wouldn't go for
it's
full
mostly
custody?
joint custody.
Did you guys have a conflict about this?
No.
Yes.
No, we didn't.
Mother, we went to the same divorce attorney.
Who did?
Me and Jason,
Yes.
agreeing to no
Karen,
child
I'm
support.
sorry, but I'm on that other side where you're always telling me things, bad things
whatever.
like, and I realize it doesn't have anything pertaining to the show, but for example, you went back to him and then you flew to Vegas with your boyfriend when she
You're
had
so
lied
full of
that me and
Excuse
her
me,
Never read
sister,
you.
hold
She never
on,
read you.
and her aunts and her cousins were going, and then allegedly they just all canceled, and then she wasn't going to cancel her trip. But this is the kind of lies and ongoing that it goes. No, it all happened during the same time.
All right, let me ask you something. When you were growing up, were you ever molested?
Yes.
At what age?
I think my best recollection, I would say, is 5.
At 5? Okay, so a family member molested you at the same age that we're talking about here. And you guys believe that that sensitizes her to this issue.
You know, I don't even care about her. This is my child I care about.
And you understand that your job is to protect your child.
That is they took every right away I had
She
as a
has
parent.
not protected that baby.
Because y'all took her and had a full rape kit and we could do nothing
Period.
about it.
She
That's the
hasn't
only way we haven't
protected that
protected
child
her.
from
That's
the
the only
original
way we haven't protected
allegation.
her.
When it was somebody
Why?
else's
Why?
name, when they were using this other name, y'all were all on it.
You came
You
up with
brought it
that.
up.
I didn't
You
even know
brought it
his
up.
name.
Okay, all right, hold on. An allegation was made against another person before you, and there were no findings. And that person was cleared of any wrongdoing, and you now agree that that was a false allegation, right?
I believe that someone has touched her.
But you think it was Jason, not this other person.
I do, yes.
But
I
you
do.
originally thought it was this other person.
Because that was the name given.
Okay, but you originally thought it was somebody else, and that proved not to be true, and so then you decided it was him.
No, I didn't decide. I was told.
Well,
this
based
was
on
her.
what you say you were told by your granddaughter, you've concluded that it's him. Now, and you're not the only one involved in this. Now, Karen says that Sister Natasha has betrayed her, and she is here as well.
My niece was spending the night. It was her turn to get a bath. She told me I could wash her, but I had to do it quickly and I couldn't hurt her. And as soon as I did, she said, my pee-pee hurts. And she said, maybe my pee-pee hurts because somebody is hurting it. And I said, maybe somebody hurt it? Or did somebody hurt it? And she said, oh, nothing, never mind. And she ran off. The next morning, I said, you know that you can tell Sissy anything, and I'll protect you. And she said, well, it's my daddy, but he wears a mask. That moment changed everything. I knew that I had to call and report everything. The police and CPS sent me to take my niece to have a rape kit done. She was strong and brave. It's almost like she finally felt like she was gonna get help, like somebody was gonna figure it out. Somebody needs to get to the bottom of what is going on.
Hey, come on, I want to get to the point where you told me that she made you do this, so keep talking.
I have never said that I have never said that you molested your daughter.
Did you read the report from the hospital, Dr. Phil?
I did.
Okay. Did you read the emails that she sent me?
Several times.
What emails that I sent you?
Funny how you'll forget about that now.
Okay. The only time is now, and the only place is here. You are not accusing him. You think someone has been inappropriate.
I believe what Kyron said, yes, but I do not think Jason has always been a good father. He is a fantastic father. I know that. My husband knows that. Not only is he a good father, he's good with my children. My children love them. My children miss them. I know how good of a father he is. I have never, ever believed that Jason did this. I simply just repeated what Kyron told me. That's it.
So you don't believe that Jason has done anything wrong here?
No, sir.
You disagree with your mother?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Did you tell her to call the police so it wouldn't be the same person calling twice?
No. No. It wasn't said like that. It was, there was such shock, I guess, when my niece said what she said, that she just screamed. She was angry and.
Did you put words in your granddaughter's mouth?
I will take a polygraph test. I am not lying about anything.
Get on it then.
Did you put words in your granddaughter's mouth when she was
and I
talking
would never
to
do
Natasha?
that. No.
Did you lead her in any way? Were you
No.
suggestive with what you said?
No.
Did you tell her to tell her what you told me, that your daddy did this?
No, she was the one asking the questions, period.
Did she coach her, encourage her in any way?
No, sir, not at all.
And this is my 4-year-old daughter, Dr. Phil, okay?
I will take a polygraph test. I'm not lying about anything.
Get on it then.
Let's go.
Okay, let me ask you something. If your daughter is saying these things to somebody, anybody, I mean, just go with me here. If. I'm not saying you believe that she is, but if she is, what would you expect people to do?
Dr. Phil, when the first allegation was made, I took her to the hospital. I had Child Safe examine that baby with no findings of anything. Kyron would never tell me anybody was hurting her. Kyron never told anybody. This woman had strict instructions.
The daughter does not talk to her.
Oh, our daughter don't talk to her own parents.
She doesn't trust you.
Okay,
She
hold on. Well, you can't conclude that. That is
okay. Okay.
Dr. Phil.
Well, you're not qualified to say that, and you cannot conclude that based on the fact that she hasn't repeated the allegations to her mother. That is a ridiculous generalization.
This woman.
You're going to lose credibility by saying stuff like that. Why would you do that? Listen. Let me tell you all something. To me, this is not about a television show. I mean, I could care less about that. When I get this kind of a letter and I get this kind of a scenario, then I want to look into it. I want to investigate it for a number of reasons. Number one is to protect this little girl and make sure that she is safe. Number two is there are millions of people, not just around the United States, but around the world, that are watching this right now who may be in the same or similar situation. And I intend to raise awareness about that. We're putting up numbers all over the screen and on our website about where to call if you need help, if you have questions. We've got checklists on our website about warning signs, all of these things. I'm trying to raise awareness about this to help protect children. And it worries me when we start getting into character assassination between you two. You say, I've cut her out of the will. What does that have to do with whether this little girl is being molested or not? I don't get that.
Okay, let's go back to that. That happened 5 or 6 months ago, I think in either May or July. I had reached out over and over and over to make contact with her, and she said, no, I want nothing to do with you. So when we bought another piece of property, I said, that's it. I'm going to try one more time.
Well, it just seems vindictive to me.
That's exactly what it is.
That's fine. But I just feel that if she didn't want anything to do with me, then she shouldn't want anything from me.
I want you to stay away from us.
Well, there you go.
No more allegations.
All right, but look, here's the thing. You have to understand.
I want to protect my baby, Dr. Phil. I want to make sure she never does this again.
If this little girl said these things to me, I would take them very seriously. If she said them to her, I would expect her to take them seriously. If she said them to Natasha, I would expect her to take them very seriously.
I took them seriously.
Do you really think that your sister is fabricating all of this?
You abused my baby. Yes, you did.
I have always taken care of your children. I love them like they are my own. Don't even go there.
Do you really think that your sister is fabricating all of this?
No, I know what she did. I know exactly what she did. But all she had to do was pick up the phone and say, Karen, this is
you may not like how she handled it, but my question is, do you believe that your sister is fabricating all of this, and if so, why?
Because of this one.
You believe that she is so weak-minded that she is controlled by this
Because I had
woman?
no idea how controlled I was till I stepped back. I do.
So you think that she has mind control over her and has caused her to become complicit in furthering this fantasy?
Absolutely.
You do. You don't strike me that way.
No, sir, not at all.
She strikes me as someone that has very clear boundaries, has said that she disagrees with her on some points, has said that she's repeating what she was told. I don't know why she was told, but she strikes me as a very credible...
I have been involved in your children's lives since the day that they were born. Have I ever, ever, ever neglected them?
Yes.
Really?
You had my child raped at a hospital. All you had to do was contact me. Yes.
I was
you did. You
Karen.
abused my baby. You allowed people to abuse my baby. Yes, you did.
I have always taken care of your children.
That ain't taking care
I
of
love
them.
them
That's
like they
hurting
are
her.
my own. Don't
Yes,
even
please,
go
that's
there.
hurting them.
Don't go there with me. You know
You
better.
see the hospital records, Dr. Phil? Did
You
you
know
see the
better.
report that she wrote? Did you see all the, you know, it asked behavioral issues, this and that. I mean, all kinds of questions on these forms that they filled out and the answers that this woman gave.
Well, I've told you I have a problem with these people taking your daughter there without telling you, and you signed the record as guardian, correct?
Yes, sir.
And
I
that
was
is not
instructed
correct,
by the
is it?
police.
You are not her legal guardian?
The police
No,
officer.
you're not
her
legal guardian.
You don't know what they told me. The police officer instructed me that because my sister left her child in my care, that I was
instructions.
that
My
I
mother was
her
not allowed to
caretaker.
be around her, which you violated. What I tell
know
you,
she does.
she shows up, you better let me know. My child is not safe around her.
That's
And
why
you
she
failed
makes
to
these
do so.
outcries, because of this woman around.
And you know
She
it.
puts
you know
words
it.
in her mouth.
She
I know
wasn't
it.
even. My mother wasn't even there
will
on
see.
Friday
You
night
already
after
have
the
seen.
birthday party.
All right,
No,
well, look,
no findings.
let me ask you something. Clearly, a tool for clarity here is to take a polygraph. Are you willing to do
Yes,
that?
sir. Yes, sir.
You're willing to take a polygraph
Yes.
examination
Yes.
that will ask you straight up if you've been
Yes.
inappropriate with your
Yes.
daughter.
Yes.
You're willing to do that.
Yes,
now,
sir.
and let me be very clear about a couple of things.
Sir.
If you think that you can beat or manipulate that test,
Not beating or manipulating.
hear me out.
Gotcha.
I'm making a video record here.
Okay. Gotcha.
If you think you can beat or manipulate that test, you can't. So
I
don't take
understand.
it. Don't take
100%
it.
positive.
Because I don't want you to take the test, and then if you don't get the result that you want, because I assume you're going to deny this, if it comes back that that's deceptive, I don't want you saying, well, I didn't understand, I didn't get it, I didn't know what it was about, I mean, I wasn't feeling well, I've got the flu, or whatever. You know, do not take this test if you don't know you can pass it.
I know I will pass it.
Because you won't pass it if you're lying.
I'm not lying.
And I'm not saying you are.
I understand.
Believe me,
I
trust me.
understand. I understand.
I just met you. I just met all of y'all. If you believe what you believe, then I would expect you to do most of what you're doing. Not all, but most of what you're doing. If you believe that somebody is hurting your granddaughter, I would expect you to fight City Hall and everybody else to protect her. As the lone voice against the world, if necessary, I would expect you to stand up and protect her, and you would be commended for doing so if you were right. Robin and I have just become grandparents, and let me tell you, there is no machine gun nest that woman wouldn't charge if somebody was doing something to her granddaughter. Just, I would shudder to think that what she would do. And listen, I am not saying.
Oh, if anybody hurt my daughter, I'd be machine gun ready too.
And listen, I am not saying that you have done anything inappropriate with your daughter at all. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I'm not saying you did. I'm not saying you didn't. I don't know. But I want to know. And I would think you would want to know.
I want them to know.
And if he takes this polygraph,
I know
if he takes this polygraph and he passes this polygraph, are you going to apologize to him and leave him alone? If he takes this polygraph and he passes this polygraph, are you going to apologize to him and leave him alone?
No.
Of course not. It's all
Listen, it's not about apologizing. It is about me believing what my granddaughter said, and I believe her.
Okay, so if he takes this polygraph and passes it, it's not going to matter to you.
Well, let's see if he passes.
That wasn't a question. I'm asking you right now. This is Jack Tremarco right here. Jack is a highly respected polygraph examiner. He has served as the manager of the FBI polygraph unit, and he's done thousands for the FBI. He teaches this. He is respected throughout law enforcement community. And he is a no-nonsense, objective player in this. He has no preconceived notion about this whatsoever. And this is scored on a scientific protocol that, when administered in accordance with what he's saying, has an incredibly high reliability. True, Jack?
About 93%, Doctor, when done by an honest, credible, educated polygraph examiner.
And it takes some time to do this, because you've got to define terms and you've got to have clear understandings about what is there. And if you don't pass this, it's going to look bad for you. And if you do, it's not going to affect her one way or the other, right? Because you believe that he's the man in the blue mask.
I know.
You believe there is a man in a blue mask?
I know what she told me.
Where was this blue mask at?
I didn't ask her.
Your
that.
house. Your house.
I did not ask her.
Hey, Dr. Phil, let me tell you
I find
this.
that funny.
Before my mother came out with these allegations that Jason had raped Kyron, I come home and I was living with her.
That, first of all, that is not what was said. I repeated
home.
what she said, and she doesn't use the word rape. But go ahead.
Well, that's what you've done, okay? That's what you've done. So I come home one day from work. Kyron's crying. I walk into her bathroom. She has my daughter laid out, stripped down, legs spread open, and she is cleaning her with the Q-tip, her vagina with the Q-tip. I was so upset. I was so mad. This woman has raped my daughter. This woman has had my daughter raped.
What do you mean this blue mask is at her house?
That's where it was. That's where she found it. The
So
blue
you've
mask.
seen a blue mask?
That's what
At
she
your
said.
house. You know exactly what it is, too. You know exactly.
No, I don't. I haven't
that's
seen
funny.
it, but that's fine. I've not thrown nothing away. Where is it?
Well,
we need to
you
get
know
on
how
that.
long I've been
because
at-
that
when's
says
the
that
last
there
time I
is.
came to
That
your
makes
house?
her more credible.
Please.
God.
Oh my God.
You're so disgusting.
Well,
You're disgusting.
Look, I've said this, I'm going to say it again. If a child makes these allegations, if a child shows the warning signs of being molested in any way, and those are going to be listed very clearly on the website for all of you at home, which does include bedwetting, which is going on with your daughter, and other physical and psychological signs. You have to take that serious. You have to investigate that. You have to believe the child, and you have to treat it with the utmost respect and support of her.
And Dr. Phil, we've done that.
And this has been investigated on 3 different occasions,
Yes.
2 hospital examinations. You have had these children taken away from you twice,
Yes.
and only allowed to see them while supervised until the investigations were concluded, at which time they had no finding of anything wrong, and the children were returned to you.
Yes.
They were taken away prior to that also. CPS and the kids stayed with me when they were removed from them prior
And
to that.
when you made this,
But there were no allegations.
when you
of
made
that.
the allegation, you made the allegation concerning all 3 children, correct?
Yes.
Because you figure if he's doing with one, he's doing with the other 2.
Well,
So
I
all
just know
3
that they
children
should
were
all-
subjected to this, and all 3 children came back with no finding.
Okay.
Dr. Phil, my kids love me. I love being their dad. This is just crazy. It kills me.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. This takes a few hours, correct, Jack?
At least 2.
To do, because this isn't some TV show polygraph here. There's a scientific protocol that has to be adhered to. Now, Jason swears that he's innocent. He says the accusation that he molested his daughter is just sick. Will the polygraph support that? You're going to hear the results the next time you see me. How many of you think something inappropriate has happened with this little girl? Raise your hand. Okay, that's just about everybody. How many of you's gut thinks it's her father? Raise your hand. 3, 4, 5, 6, just 6 people, 7 people, 8. Okay. Well, a hard show today, but Jason has agreed to take a polygraph, and tomorrow we'll have the results.
Next time, this father,
I have nothing to hide,
who stands accused of molesting his own daughter.
Our family has been torn apart.
I don't want my kids taken away. They need us.
In one day, the family discovers the truth.
The results of the test are...
Don't miss the unexpected twist.
This story is not even almost over.
Plus,
you are to do what you are told. Do you understand what I am telling you? Yes.
She disciplined her son with hot sauce and cold showers.
Don't you spit it at me, swish it.
Never has a guest sparked so much controversy.
Now she's back. That's next time.
Thanks for being here so long. There you go.
Today on Dr. Phil, will the new year bring changes for a wife who's gained over 100 pounds?
You're saying you're ashamed to take this woman out?
I don't want to be seen with her in public.
You're incredible.
A playboy faced with an ultimatum.
Usually I date 5 to 10 women at the same time.
If you want to continue seeing me, all the other women have to go.
Are you willing to do that?
And a single woman looking for...
a guy that has a Steve Harvey sense of humor.
Nobody's that good.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If it matters to you, that's what I want to talk about. Are we ready in the booth? Let's do it.
Go, Dr. Phil.
All right. Well, Happy New Year. Well, it's 2011 and the first Monday of the new year. Now, I know it's resolution time, but not for my guests today. It's actually their loved ones who are turning them in and trying to make them make drastic changes starting right now. Now, 2011 isn't the only number that is significant today. Take a look at these. 100. That is the amount of weight that Michael says his wife Allison gained during her pregnancy. 2 is the number of weeks Natasha says she's giving her boyfriend Sean to commit to her, or she's going to kick him to the curb. We'll talk to them later. But first, 10. That is the number of years that Marcia hasn't had a date. But her daughter Adia is vowing to get her one in the new year instead of waiting for, as her mother says, God to deliver the perfect man right to her doorstep. Take a look.
I cannot remember when the last time I went on a date.
I think that my mother's very picky when it comes to selecting guys.
He would be a man of faith, funny, fit, taller, independent, have his own car. He would not be living at his mother's house. Not just any man will do. The ultimate would be a man who carries a handkerchief. I am just very impressed with a man who carries a handkerchief.
My grandmother suggested that my mom go on eHarmony.
He wants to date, but nothing serious. I've tried online dating, and the man that I was talking with name was Jaden. Come on, whose name is Jaden in my age group?
My mother says that she wants a man, she wants to find love, but she does not want it to be a full-time job because she already has one.
I am waiting for the perfect man to knock on my door and say, here I am. I usually tease my daughter and say I want him to say, here I am, the Lord sent me, but I'll go with here I am, Dr. Phil sent me.
Okay, now, do you want a man?
Yes, I do.
You do? Why?
Yes, I do. Because I'm in a perfect stage in my life. We could travel. I'm not raising children. My children are raised.
Yeah.
I want a companion. I want to share my life with someone.
Okay, so you actually want someone to share with.
I do.
And you want it for the right reasons. Do you believe her?
No.
No? You were looking real skeptical over there. Why do you say no?
I don't, because she doesn't want to do what it takes to find a man. So how can you
Well,
want
Dr. Phil,
something?
what am I supposed to do? I don't want to go out to clubs. That's not me. I don't want to look at every man, like every man in the audience, and say, is he available? Is he available?
And I think she should.
Well, let's take a minute here.
Yeah, let's do that.
Anybody strike your fancy out here? We can check them out. No, I won't ask you to do that.
I've already seen 3.
But you can't. Which 3 did you pick out?
There's a gentleman right here in the front row.
Okay,
I don't
this
know if
guy
he's
right
married,
here.
but you know.
Are you married?
Oh, well, no. No good.
No,
and then there's
okay.
a guy right here. You married?
Where? Who? Which one?
Oh, see, he's not married, Mom.
Which one?
Right here in the leather coat, right there.
Leather coat? Stand up. Let's look you over here. All right, that's a good-looking guy here. Okay, so that's one, but you're not married? No? What's your name?
Farouk Abunga.
Farouk Abunga. Could we call you Bob? Okay. All right, you're kind of young. How old are you?
35.
35?
He's legal.
No, wait,
He's
wait,
legal.
wait, no. That's way too young.
What do you mean he's legal?
He's legal. My mom can be a cougar. I'm okay with that.
So, could you be a cougar?
I could, but not 25.
Not 25. Okay. Well, let's take a review of your list of requirements for a potential mate, because this seemed like a pretty steep hill to climb. Can't be younger than 55 or older than 65, so it's a pretty narrow window. Outgoing and energetic, okay.
Yes.
Wants to go dancing or listen to jazz. Can't have more than one ex-wife. Must have independent, grown children, if any. Christian, financially secure. Must carry a handkerchief.
Well.
Must be taller than her when she's wearing heels. Must be willing to move around the country with her. Easy on the eyes, tall, dark, and handsome. Must open doors, must walk her to the door, but not expect to come in. This isn't a dog. Stay. Stay. Flowers, got to be spontaneous, must take charge, make plans, loyal, trustworthy, and caring. Oh, it is a dog. Okay. Does not live with his mama. It's got to have his own car and a house.
Yes.
So you don't want a flake.
Right, and I don't want an old man either.
You don't want an old man?
No.
Okay.
I want him to be breathing and energetic and ready to do things.
She doesn't want somebody on their deathbed.
Well, no, of course not.
I think my list is something that every woman wants.
All right. Now, Marcia's sister, Mary, has tried many times to fix her sister up. Now, she's on the phone with us to tell us how these dates went. Was she a willing participant?
She was not a willing participant. I've tried to fix her up on several dates. She usually has a lot of excuses. The couple of dates that I did fix her up on, the first one, she went to visit where he was playing. He's a musician, and I thought they would be perfect together. He fell within her age bracket. But when she got there, she assumed that he knew exactly who she was, which he didn't. She put her phone number in his tip jar, so of course he didn't realize who it was.
But now,
and
Mary, I kind of like that though. You put your phone number in his tip jar. Did you say anything that I'm the girl you were supposed to meet today?
I put a little message in there with my name and my number.
Well, see, that's got a little mystery to it. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
But now,
Dr. Phil,
yes.
she put her number in there, but she never really approached him. She assumed that he just knew exactly who she was, and when she felt that he didn't know who she was, she left. She thought he wasn't interested.
All right, now, Marcia, you're kind of old-fashioned, right? You think a guy should approach a woman?
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And that was an effort to put my name out there with my number and give it to him.
Yeah, that seems to me like reasonable. But now, you understand that if you want what you want, you got to do something to get it, right? You got to get in a target-rich environment.
And I'm here,
Right.
Dr. Phil, how many guys are in this environment?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of women here.
But everywhere you
And
go,
Bob.
there's...
You've got a lot of women and Bob. All right, now, next, I sent a very good friend of mine. He's one of the funniest guys I know to give Marcia some critical dating advice right after the break.
When I retire, my plan is to move near my daughter so that I can see my grandchildren more.
I would like my mom to have her own life and find a man. I think that at 32, I'm more than capable of living in another city without my mother. Dr. Phil, I really love my mother, but I really don't want her moving around with me for the next 7 to 15 years.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I wanted to do a house call here, so I asked a really good friend of mine, who I think is one of the funniest people on the globe, Steve Harvey, to pay a surprise visit to Marcia to give her some hardcore dating tips. Take a look.
Hey, Dr. Phil, this is your buddy Steve Harvey, and I'm gonna see Marcia and Adia and see if I can't ask a couple of questions that might help you get to the bottom of all of this.
Steve Harvey.
Hey. Show money. Hey. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
How are you?
Oh, I see you. I didn't know y'all was gonna be cute. Okay, so tell me exactly what's going on from your perspective.
From my perspective is I really want my mother to get out there and date. It's her time now, and I want her to make herself available, which she won't do.
Is it really true, though, that you want the guy to walk up to the door?
She wants him to ring the doorbell and say, "The Lord sent me."
Really?
That's what I tell her.
Ding dong, it's him, mommy, it's him. And everybody go running to the door, and you open it up, and Danny Glover standing there.
I'll take any one of them.
So when you first meet the guy, what are you looking for?
A guy that has a conversation. We can talk, you know. A guy that has a sense of humor. Maybe not a Steve Harvey sense of humor, but a sense of humor.
Nobody's that good.
I know.
So,
I'd say.
he's gone. He's a wrap. It's a
You
wrap.
know?
I'm here, that's it.
I do have a sense of humor, but it's a dry sense of humor, so that eyebrow just went up.
Yeah, well, you just scared every man watching the show.
Man.
I've got a sense of humor, but it's dry.
Okay.
That's very funny. I'm cracking up right now on the inside.
Can I speak for her?
No, I don't
Yes,
want
she
you
can.
She wants somebody energetic who's willing to travel with her, willing to go places, doesn't want to just sit in a rocking chair and
That's
kind
fair.
of watch the grandkids.
That's fair.
You want somebody taller than you, even when she wears heels.
Right. Yeah, you want to look up to your man.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't want to kiss him
somebody
on
in
the top
shape.
of his ball head. Baby, come on. Baby, come on now. You don't want to do that?
No.
When you disarm a man with your personality, when you come out with it, when you're bubbly and really sweet, that draws a guy's attention.
Mm-hmm.
You could be pulling all types of guys out of the woodwork. You know, you have a great smile, you got pretty eyes, you take care of your hair, you got your makeup banging. You winning. Let's go. Let's put all this
So I'm
together.
halfway there.
You're 80% there.
Okay.
You quit tripping yourself out with your little crazy self. Just sitting over here going, I don't want to go out there. Quit saying that.
Okay.
I think all this information should help Dr. Phil kind of help you all out, you know, because he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, I think he is too.
So I think we'll find a match.
Steve Harvey said that I need to be more bubbly, more energetic, and I need to be open to new experiences. So I'm going to take that to heart, and hopefully Dr. Phil can expound on that with me.
All right, now, Steve Harvey is crazy.
Yes, he is.
He is crazy. But you know, he actually has some common sense advice. He's telling you, you got to put yourself out there, right? And you're saying, I'm busy, I got a job, I don't need a job. It's not a job if it's fun. See, here's the thing to think about. You don't know that the next corner you turn, the next person you meet, the next person that steps up and says hello, might be the guy you've been looking for. I mean, isn't that kind of fun to have a little bit of the unknown out there where you can just kind of see what happens?
But it hasn't happened in 10 years, Dr. Phil. I've been turning corners every day.
No, you're not.
Phil, she hasn't been
Listen,
turning
you got to
anything.
put yourself in a target-rich environment. You got to decide, You got to decide where you can go to meet someone that it's not just like one in a million. They're not going to come to your front porch. They're not going to jump on the hood of your car and tap on the windshield and say, it's me. I'm the guy. You got to, whether it's at church or you volunteer in a community arts group, or you go get in a tennis league, or you go take dancing. You do something where you get around guys. You got to be willing to put yourself out there.
I suggested speed dating. You know what she told me? Weirdos do speed dating.
Weirdos do speed dating. And you don't like this internet dating business?
No,
either.
not at all.
Okay, why?
Well, first of all, the application was so long. It took me a long time to do the application.
But doesn't that tell you that they're doing their homework?
And then how do you know who you're talking to out there?
Well, okay. I got the solution for this, as Steve Harvey does. Okay, Steve, by the way, he's written a book that you need to read. All of y'all need to read this. He has a new book. It's called Straight Talk, No Chasers. See, the difference between people whose resolutions work and those that don't are people who actually sit down and make a plan. If you resolve you're going to do 5 things a month for the next 3 months, the chances of you meeting somebody goes exponential. You could do that, couldn't you?
I could do that.
Would she?
She won't. No.
I will. I will.
She won't. I said, Mom, let's go bowling. I'm going to chip my nails.
Okay.
I will, Dr. Phil.
Okay, you got to quit saying no and start saying yes. For all of you at home that are watching her, maybe you want to meet her. I don't know. You're going to have to get through Steve Harvey and me. So if you're some kind of weirdo speed dater, don't even try. Okay, but you got to get busy, all right? You got to put yourself out there. And she's doing this for you.
Because she doesn't want me to travel around with her.
Well, she just doesn't want to be stalked by her mother.
Yes.
And I want her to be happy.
She wants you to have a life and be happy, and then you can come and visit.
Okay.
Okay? We'll work on that. All right. Next, a husband who is so embarrassed by his wife's weight that he refuses to be seen in public with her. Wow. Right back.
I'm embarrassed to take Allison out to the movies, to go out to eat, to meet my friends because of the way she looks.
This is my trophy wife that I remember.
I'm afraid that he'd cheat on me. I'm afraid that he'll go and find some toothpick to replace me.
Weight loss, you know, weight loss is one of the most popular New Year's resolutions out there. Everybody's going to take off the pounds they picked up over the holidays. But it's not Allison who resolved to lose weight. It's her husband, Michael, who insists that she return to being a size 2 trophy wife.
I'm embarrassed to take Allison out to the movies, to meet my friends because of the way she looks.
It makes me feel horrible that Michael's embarrassed of me. Michael and I have been married for 3 years. The biggest problem in our marriage is my weight.
Allison was 130 pounds, always working out.
This is my trophy wife that I remember.
Now I'm a size 22 and I weigh 249 pounds. I gained 80 pounds in the last 2 months of my pregnancy from eating corn dogs, lots of corn dogs, and milkshakes and fries.
Allison's fat because she's lazy, because she doesn't want to put the effort to go to the gym.
You said you wanted a bike, we got you the bike, and you said that the bike was too hard.
250 pounds on a bike, not comfortable. I've tried dieting and working out, and the weight just doesn't come off like it used to.
How's Emily doing?
Emily. My husband refers to my stomach as Emily. Michael calls me names a lot. He calls me chunky monkey, heifer, and hippo, and fat ass.
I do make comments just to make her feel bad about herself.
I'm afraid he'll leave me. I'm afraid that he'd cheat on me. I'm afraid that he'll go and find some toothpick to replace me.
Okay, this doesn't help.
No.
Do you think that this is actually helping her?
I tried helping her by giving her everything she wanted. She wanted an exercise bike.
Right.
Didn't work. She says it was too hard. Then she wanted the thing to attach back of the bike so my son can ride with her. Then didn't work. We ended up giving the bike away, brand new.
You call her hippo, chunky monkey,
and
fat ass,
heifer,
and chubs.
Yep.
And your theory is this will shame her into doing it?
By doing that, I push her buttons on purpose and makes her feel bad about herself, so hopefully she'll do something about it.
How's that working for you?
Hasn't worked yet.
You couldn't do anything more wrong in sabotaging her for change if you sat down and strategized out how to keep her overweight. Is there a woman in this room that believes that calling you fat ass, chunky monkey, and hippo would say, all right, I want to make myself better for him? Is there anybody that believes that?
But it's been 4 years.
I don't care if it's been 40 years. The wrong solution doesn't fix the right problem. You may be right that she needs to lose weight. I agree you need to lose weight, by the way.
Thanks.
No, I do. I think there's a return to health when you lose weight. There are a number of things that will improve when you get down to what is for you an ideal body weight. And I seriously doubt that's a size 2.
I would like to get back there, but if I don't have any help, there's
but
nothing
he says
I can
he's
do.
helped you. He says he's helped you.
Okay, no.
He buys you
buying
stuff
things,
and
buying things, and then expecting me to be a full-time stay-at-home mom to our son, and then have time to keep our house looking like a hotel, and entertain my son, and have time to work out at the end of the day when he doesn't help me when he gets home from work is not possible.
Okay, you said, and this is a quote, you said, if I start crying, he says I should be losing weight so we won't argue.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if he hurts your feelings, he says, again, just lose the weight and
then we're fine. Which I think is complete nonsense. I think that the weight's part of our problems, but I think that he needs to, be...
Are you attracted to her?
I'm not attracted to her at all.
You don't find her attractive at all?
I don't want to be seen with her in public. I don't want to. I take her out to movies late at nights at reserved seating, so we just go in the theater and we can get out as soon as possible. I try to stay in my office as long as I can, so I don't have to come up with any reason to come out and hang out with her.
Yeah.
But
Are
I
you
think
all intimate? Are you sexually active?
Not really.
we used to have sex 6 times a day. Now maybe once a month.
You used to have sex 6 times a day?
Yes.
A lot.
A lot.
Well, no wonder you're just tired. I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around this. You're saying you're ashamed to take this woman out somewhere?
Yes. I like my trophy wife. When she was 130, when I met her, that's the person I fell in love with.
We literally went out and just did everything. And
Yeah, we did everything
had
together.
Fun.
So why have you stayed? I mean, if you're so ashamed of her, if she's so despicable and disgusting to you, why have you stayed?
Because we have a son together. He's 3 years old. I mean,
So that's it. You're just staying for the child.
I don't want to. I want my son to have a mother and father.
But for him, you'd be gone.
If it wasn't for him, I'll be gone. But if she would have listened to me from the beginning, she wouldn't be where she is, because the doctor gave her a list, told her not to eat salt, not to eat pasta, don't eat fatty food. What did she ask? Corn dog, a box of corn dog in 2 days. And then instead of using ketchup, she puts the corn dog in the ice cream as a ketchup. She wants McDonald's. She wants a spicy chicken sandwich. She wants milkshake, large French fries. Those are the things I told her.
I was hungry.
She gained 5 pounds every month till she hit 7 months. And then she gained 65 pounds 1 month. The doctor said that's not healthy for your kid.
What do you weigh?
I weigh 200.
200?
Yes.
He's not exactly the picture of perfect health either.
I gained that weight for eating the junk you ate when you were pregnant.
There's a lot of women out there right now thinking, hey, I know how you could lose 200 pounds in a hurry. All right, I'm going to say what I think needs to happen here when we come back.
I no longer have the spark for Allison.
Before I gained weight, we were intimate 5 times a day.
Now we only have sex once a week.
When Michael and I have sex, he makes me feel like I'm a $10 hooker. Get it done and get out.
Okay, do you have a question for me?
I want to know how to fix this. I want to
Fix what's this?
him, my weight, our marriage.
Do you have a question for me?
I would like to ask, where would I went wrong? What did I do wrong? I mean, I'm giving her everything she asked.
I'll answer that question. You want to know where you went wrong?
I mean, she wanted a bike.
You are a big mouth, abusive bully. And I'm being honest with you. Your behavior, what you're doing is abusive. Okay. Really, it's abusive, and it's not working. Are you willing to change your strategy and approach?
If it's going to help her lose weight, yes.
Okay. Do you acknowledge that what you're doing isn't working?
Yes.
Do you acknowledge just intellectually that it is abusive to call someone derogatory names and put them down?
I would say it's wrong because it's not working.
Okay, but you don't think it's morally wrong. You don't think it's emotionally wrong.
I think I do it just to push her buttons, and hopefully maybe she one day realized that she needed to do something about it.
In 4 years, it hasn't worked, okay? If you're beating your head against the wall for 4 years and the wall's not moving, you think, well, I got to try something different, right?
Yes.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to get you to what weight you want, because you don't like this either.
No.
But I'm going to do this for you, not for him. Okay. And here's your problem. When she does, then you're going to come scratching at the door again, and it's going to occur to her that, you know what? He's not interested in me as a person. He doesn't respect me as a woman. He doesn't acknowledge that I'm the mother to his child. He's just interested in me because I'm hot. She's going to resent you once she gets there. I mean, this is a beautiful woman, and she gained weight. She gained weight. And the catalyst to that gaining weight is she got pregnant having your child.
But it's 3 years since she had a child. And we have a 24-hour gym with every exercise equipment available to her.
Okay, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to butt out.
Butt out.
Seriously. It's not working, Michael. I have a plan. There's a new program that we're involved with. It's called the 17-Day Diet. And this book has become a wildfire in America. It's by Dr. Mike Moreno. It is a scientifically based diet that changes every 17 days. So you, A, don't get bored, and B, you don't get plateaued. And so this has 4 17-day phases that you go through. And in fact, to keep you from having to even make a decision, we'll make this as structured for you as beginning, we're going to give you a year's worth of food delivery from Bistro MD. Okay, this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now here's what they do. They have the 17-day diet program in Bistro MD. So they will look at the phase you're in, and they will put together exactly the combinations of food that you're supposed to eat for 17 days. Then they'll shift gears for 17 days. Then they'll shift gears for another 17 days. And we'll keep running this cycle till you get where you're going.
Okay.
And you don't deserve anything. But because I think it would be good to support, we'll make it available to you as well, because you could stand to lose a few. Right?
Yes.
You said, all right. Now, I want to introduce you to Robert Reams right here. Now, Robert Reams is a trainer. He's a nutritionist. He's also an ambassador for Gold's Gym. And Gold's Gym has agreed to give you a free 1-year membership and a personal trainer that will be coordinated by Robert Reams to get you going over the next 6 months. Now, Robert, you got to break a sweat here, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? You know what it's like.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to working out at all. I love working out.
I think this is just about a little shift in momentum, get some rhythm going, and getting busy again like you did before.
So we're going to structure you with a membership to the gym, a trainer that will hold you accountable. And let me tell you, you don't show up, you're going to have him in your face. So we got a plan?
Yes.
And you're going to let Robert and me, the trainers, you're going to let them take over. Okay. All you got to do is just butt out.
Butt out. Got it.
Okay, easy enough?
Easy enough.
All right. He calls himself an international playboy. Can this womanizer be forced to commit to just one person in the new year? We'll see when we come back.
I haven't seen Sean for the last few months. I would like to see a commitment from him by New Year's.
I'm the type of guy that doesn't really like commitment. I'm the ultimate playboy. They call me the showstopper.
She knew he was a player and used to date 5 to 10 girls at a time. Now Natasha wants her boyfriend Sean to give up the other women and commit to her and her only. Take a look.
Hello, Dr. Phil. My name is Natasha. I haven't seen Sean for the last few months. I would like to see a commitment from him by New Year's.
I'm the type of guy that doesn't really like commitment. And I usually like to date about 5 to 10 women at the same time. I'm living the life every single guy dreams about. I'm the ultimate playboy. They call me the showstopper.
When I first met Sean, he presented himself as a playboy, arrogant, cocky, very into himself.
I am very well educated. I have traveled the world. I believe in having the whole package of beauty and brains.
He said at the beginning that he doesn't want a relationship. As I got to know him better, I saw a different side of him. I can definitely see Sean being serious with someone. My question to you, Dr. Phil, is Sean the right guy for me?
Okay, well, you're pretty proud of the way you turned out.
I've always been very independently happy and confident with myself. And I've always had the attitude that just because you're alone doesn't mean that you're lonely. Most boys, when they're growing up, they have these dreams of dating beautiful women.
Who are you talking to?
I'm sorry.
No, I just wondered if you were like selling this to the audience.
I'm very passionate about my views. I like to share it with a lot of people.
You don't want to settle down.
I'm not saying I'm completely opposed to settling down, but I've been very happily single for a long time, and it's worked for me, so I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So what do you think about this?
It worked for me for a while. I grew up and lived all my life with a lot of pressure that you have to be married, committed, traditional, and it didn't work for me.
But now
we've been seeing each other for a while. Our feelings are evolving, and I need to make a decision whether I'm going to continue seeing him or not.
our feelings are evolving or your feelings are evolving?
Ours.
Uh-huh. You in love with her?
I don't really like using the word in love with someone.
Are you in love with him?
I can't say that, but we do have feelings for each other.
Yeah.
What would the feelings be like? You really like him? Or
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And
But you're not in love with him?
I can't say that yet. No, it's too soon for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your question for me?
Does he have a chance to be committed, and can he change?
No. No. You have any other questions?
I think what he's... I could see through him. I think everything he's saying, those are just the walls he's putting around himself. Deep inside, he's just a sweet teddy bear.
He has told you from the get-go. He's not somebody that dates you and sneaks around and dates somebody else. You've been very forthcoming with the women in your life that you're not interested in monogamy right now. But let me tell you something. A committed relationship, whether you call it marriage, dated, living, whatever, is tough enough when two people are both highly motivated to get together. When there is a disparate level of desire to do that, it becomes exponentially difficult. You want it, you don't. And until those things come into sync, this isn't going to work for you. And if you're saying you've put in some time here and he either needs to kind of step up and be at the level you're at, or you need to move on, then don't say that if you don't mean it.
I mean it.
Then you need to move on. Because you're not willing to make the kind of commitment that she's looking for right now, true?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think she's just a beautiful, lovely person. Just being in a line of work where I've I'm around a lot of young models who are kind of airheaded and vacant and don't have much personality. Being with her makes me feel like I'm with a real woman, and she's just a wonderful human being, and I would hate to lose her.
Are you willing to give up all these airheads?
I don't know, just because I've been very independently happy for a long time.
Let's take a break. When we come back, one of Sean's exes is here, and she has a warning for Natasha. We'll be right back. Well, I'm here with Sean and Natasha, and I don't know, maybe I'm seeing this too black and white here, because Sean describes himself as someone that doesn't feel the need to be plugged in and committed, although he says he's open to it at some point. It's been 1 year since they broke up, and Kaylin says that Sean is in no way ready to commit to one woman. Why do you say that?
He is very egotistical. I'm going to start there. And I heard you say something, oh, he's like a little teddy bear, and that's the mentality. As women, we want to fix people. We want to help them and nurture them, and you just see him as, oh, poor Sean. But when he starts feeling the actual feelings, he's going to get scared and he's going to push you away.
Okay. So you want what from him at this point?
I want you to make a decision whether you can commit to me or not. I'm not going to be seeing you anymore if you can't do that.
And define commit.
Monogamous. All the other women have to go.
And are you willing to do that?
I'm willing to do so for her, just because I think she's the most amazing woman I've ever met.
You seem like you're nervous. We're putting you on the spot here.
Oh, okay. You are putting me on the spot.
No, well, she is, not me. I'm not asking you to commit to me. So, do you believe the answer? The answer is yes, right?
Yes. I think I
do. Will you keep us posted?
I will.
Okay, keep us posted, and you'll be honest with him, right?
Yeah, I'm very honest, if nothing else.
Well, let's wish him the best. Let's wish him the best. Well, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Robert Reams, Gold's Gym, Bistro MD, Steve Harvey. We had a lot going on today, right? Now, Steve has a new book, Straight Talk, No Chasers. And you can pick up a copy of Steve's new book today in bookstores. So we have a plan, right?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for being here. So long.